highly critical of Vallis yesterday for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. Lovett has been accused of sexually abusing at least 19 boys while he was a volunteer and employee at Johnson Elementary School on the west side. A Cicero police officer is recovering after he was wounded during a shootout with a suspect. Authorities say a man began firing at officers yesterday near the Cicero exit on the Stevenson Expressway. Officers had tried to pull over that man and the vehicle he was driving, and Officer Luis Duarte was shot multiple times. This morning remains hospitalized in good condition. A man with a concealed carry license jumped out of his car to help Duarte and began shooting at the suspect. That suspect suffered a gunshot wound and is now in serious condition. Jury selection has wrapped up in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with the murder of Laquan McDonald. The process was completed yesterday after 12 jurors and 5 alternates were chosen over the course of 3 days of questioning. Officer Jason Van Dyke's attorneys must choose today whether they want that case to be decided by the jury or Cook County Judge Vincent Gaughan. Van Dyke's attorneys also still want that case moved out of Cook County. Opening statements could begin by Monday. Mayor Emanuel and Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan are moving forward with a controversial proposed consent decree aimed at reforming the Chicago Police Department. Madigan announcing yesterday that the final draft of that document was submitted to a federal judge.
The consent decree is a detailed and comprehensive roadmap to reform that Chicagoans need and can be proud of.
Emanuel and Madigan believe the effort will lead to lasting reforms of a police department that they say has long struggled to gain the trust of some in the minority community. Judge now will oversee the process of reaching a final court order after taking some public feedback and holding hearings next month. A former lawyer will likely spend the rest of his earthly life behind bars for the 1973 murder of his wife in the northwest suburbs. Cook County Judge sentenced Donnie Rudd yesterday to 75 to 100 years in prison for killing Noreen Rudd. Rudd was accused of beating Noreen Rudd to death before staging her death to look like a car accident in Barrington Township to collect life insurance money. Former Chicago police officer headed behind bars after admitting to paying for teenage girls for sex. Federal judge sentencing William Whitley to 25 years behind bars yesterday after he pleaded guilty in May to sex trafficking of a minor. Former chairman of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission wants to draft Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza to run for mayor of Chicago. Marty Castro says he's launching an effort to draft Mendoza. Castro had previously backed Cook County Commissioner Jesus Chuy Garcia in his losing bid to become mayor in 2015. Well, Illinois taxpayers will not foot the bill for the University of Illinois hosting former President Obama last week. The price tag for the former president's visit was $53,000. School says most of that money will come from inside the university and none from tuition or state taxpayer dollars. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says he'll do better in the second term. Governor telling reporters he'll be a better governor because of all of the struggles during his first term. Rauner saying he made a mistake by demanding an all-or-nothing agenda and hopes to be able to find compromise when elected again. There will be some celebrations around the area when the next news is reported. Steak and Shake, planning to open its first ever business in the city of Chicago. The Indianapolis restaurant chain will set up next Thursday in the 1300 block of South Halsted, right near the UIC campus. Unlike suburban eateries, this Steak and Shake will serve bottled beer and wine. Javi Baez drove in the go-ahead run with a bunt single in the 10th. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight in Baltimore. Blackhawks begin training camp today. Health of Corey Crawford is the big question. And the Illinois football team will take on South Florida tomorrow afternoon at Soldier Field. Northwestern host Akron in Maction. It's Northern Illinois hosting Central Michigan here on AM 560. The news is a service of Geico Chicagoland. Hey, Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Chicagoland Waterproofing and by Tom Mirabaldi, independent agent for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real. It happens every day.
You can recover.
Discover hope and help.
Never give up on yourself.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we were on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is here, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
For just $5 a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. It's pocket change to you. It's life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio.
5:10, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway Traffic, heavy Cottage Grove to the merge. Roadwork in the right lane. About 19 minutes, 80-94 right. Bishop Ford also a little heavy approaching the Ryan Expressway with some road construction. Wrapping up now near Polstead, the two left lanes. Eden looks good. Kennedy inbound. The off-ramp at Harlem is set to reopen after overnight work. Express lanes are closed. Should be opening shortly on the inbound side. Work on the Stevenson at LaGrange Road now wrapping up. Lake Shore Drive. Northbound, the exit to Grand Avenue and Illinois Street at Navy Pier is closed till Saturday, October 6th. No delays to report right now on the tollways or in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny and very warm, high 84. Clear and warm for the night, low 64. Tomorrow, a full day of sunshine, high 82. Then a mainly clear night with patchy late night fog, low 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
65 at O'Hare. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. More company picnics, less time planning. TastyCatering.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to the Dan and Amy Show. Sitting in for Dan today and on Monday, I'm so blessed, is Bruce Wolf.
And who are you, Four Eyes?
You know what? I got glasses, and I feel nauseous. Is anybody
nauseated?
I feel nauseated.
Yes.
I feel nauseated.
Nauseous means you make others
Oh, I'll
nauseated.
See? I'm getting
Yeah.
schooled.
Well, you
Not
look so
even a minute
smart.
in.
You look so
Oh, I
cerebral
do?
with the glasses.
I have to take them off, but then I can't see. But I feel nauseous.
No, you're nauseated.
No,
but,
I know.
but that's
I'm kidding.
okay.
I feel
So let me.
because I can't see close.
When
up.
did you get the glasses?
2 days ago.
Oh, just
and I'm
2
just
days
trying to
ago.
trying to drive with glasses.
Why did you use
It's
contacts?
I didn't think I wanted to stick stuff in my eyes every morning.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have
Okay.
contacts?
No, I go to Target and I get 3 pairs of 125s for $15, and then they're twisted out of shape, so I look like Jerry Lewis wearing glasses, and I lose them all over the place because in my dotage, I can never remember where I. As a matter of fact, this morning when I got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to leave.
Well, you were here at 1 a.m.
Right.
We're circling around the building. When's she going to get here? When are they going to unlock the
Right,
doors for me to
sure.
come into the building?
Right. So I knocked the glasses off the bed. My wife had to get up, and we're searching around for my glasses. We can't find them. And she finally found them.
Let me see. Can I try on your glasses?
Oh,
or is this personal? Do you want to try mine on?
Absolutely.
You might look like Sarah Palin or S.E. Cup or something. Wow. Look, it's Erica Hill from CNN.
How do I look in your glasses?
You know what?
What?
You don't look bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I see
All right.
myself?
Well,
Or
why?
can
We
I-
don't have the monitor. Excuse
Oh,
me. We don't have the
okay,
monitor.
Let's see
on.
you.
Oh,
and
I-
those glasses are crooked.
Oh.
What's the matter with them? They smell.
Oh, it's too much. I can't
Yeah.
see. It's too much.
Well, those
What?
are only 125s. What are yours?
I don't know. I don't do
what?
numbers.
This
I
looks
don't
like-
do numbers.
You know what? These glasses look like fake glasses. There was a guy who replaced me on Channel 32.
Oh, here we
the
go.
Sportscaster,
Oh,
Darren
here.
Horton.
Can you play the somber music?
So
He's talking about his TV career. Yes.
So he was wearing. He would wear those glasses like guys wear, to look cerebral, even though, they're nincompoops. Yes. There was a
then what
time.
happened?
There was a time when I was a Chicago TV and radio legend, and now I'm washed upon the shore of Wilmington, not Delaware, North Carolina, wherever. That's why I'm no longer in broadcasting, because I don't even know where the hurricane is hitting. Okay.
So
there you go.
the guy who replaced you,
So he wore the glasses.
and they were fake glasses.
They were fake, and those look like fake. I just looked through your glasses.
No, up here
There's
they're,
no,
they're
oh,
called,
I was
and
looking
then you
down.
look down, and now
Okay.
you can see.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
On a very
I mean,
special Dan.
You
and
look
Amy.
like you should be taking the glasses off and and then tossing your hair, and then Marion, Madam Librarian, becomes very attractive to Robert Preston and the Music Man.
Oh yeah. Kicking it early on a Friday. Oh yeah. Sing it. Oh, we will be singing today, by the way. One of our fans, Mike from the North Side. Thanks for taking my call, Mike.
Sure.
He sent in a little ditty about Hello Dolly and changed the words to Hello Valis.
Sure.
So you've been
Because Valis
practicing.
rhymes with Dolly. It's a great parody.
So I gave you a homework assignment.
Yes.
To sing the song. I was just wondering now if you want to give it a
I
shot.
don't have the words in front of
Well,
me. I
I
didn't
to-
memorize it.
You didn't forward it to Keith to print out the lyrics? These are facts that you can't escape
I
from.
could try to find it on,
No. Okay.
I'm sorry. The
All right.
moment has passed.
Hurricane Florence. Don't you know? Now, what is it? A drizzle? Just kidding. It would start
the
out
Cubs
category.
game. The Cubs game was wrecked by the typhoon that came in last night, and they were only able to play 10 innings as opposed to the 25 that they had planned. So
No,
yes.
it moved in. It's hunkering. It's in the area right now. It has reached landfall, as they say. It went from a Category 4 to a Category 3 to a Category 2. It is now a Category 1. But it's still, people are getting stuck in their houses because the storm surge, they're having water.
13 feet
13
high.
feet. So
Yeah.
think about it. 13 feet high. That would be, we'd have to move up to another floor.
That's
I mean,
what
in this building, in this room right
just,
here.
By way of comparison, I refer to you as a tall drink of water, but that really is.
Did you watch the
tall
Weather
drink of
Channel?
water.
Did you see what they did? It almost looked like the Hunger Games. It was the graphic. She's sitting there, and then the water's coming behind her. No, I didn't think it was ridiculous at all.
Well, I liked when the sharks came in and started,
No, it showed it with the 3-foot storm surge, and then a 6-foot, and then a 12, and then what happened? Right. It was way over her head.
I love weather porn.
I thought it was great.
Weather porn's
great. And Cajun Navy, they're on the scene. They've already gotten so far this morning because I watched Chris Cuomo on CNN. They started early today. Sure. Cajun Navy's ready. They've already received 500 phone calls.
We've brought out every possible airboat that we can get in our teams, and also medics and a lot of the other people are coming in on standby.
Does Cajun Navy serve jambalaya, shrimp Creole?
No, they started in Hurricane Katrina. That's hence they got the name Cajun Navy, and they go to every disaster, and they bring their airboats, and they help out where our local police and National Guard can't.
You can't put a price on bringing somebody hope in a hopeless situation.
Why do we?
It's priceless.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Why do we need mercenaries like Cajun Navy? My tax dollars are paying for this.
Right. Well, here's the
thing.
And
then they malign our poor president, who misestimated the number of people killed in Puerto Rico by 2,000 or 3,000.
6.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem, should these people be saved? They received ample warning to get out of their homes.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
And they said this is going to be the big one. This is going to be the storm of your lifetime, because it might not be a Category 4 like they said. It's a Category 1, but the storm's going to sit there and swirl around, and they're going to get 40 feet of water.
Right. So you wonder.
Would you leave or would you stay?
Of course I would leave. As soon as, I see oh my God, I was here at 1:00 in the morning because I was afraid, the winds might come in from the East Coast. No, you wonder if these people are learning, like their first round entrance at American Idol, the learning disabled, and they cannot fend for themselves. Because there's got to be something wrong with these people. First of all, they're from the South.
Bruce.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh, I love the South. I love them.
We have friends from the South that are in the other room.
Seriously?
Alabama.
He doesn't sound like he's from Alabama.
Oh, my God.
He probably voted. I know that Keith probably voted for the Democrat against Roy Moore, right? So
he lives here. He didn't vote, but his parents did.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce Wolf here, sitting in for Dan Propp.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
Yeah, and we'll be right back.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
On AM560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com. Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Just listen.
We're a contracting architecture firm with 50 employees in 2 states. We hosted our own email and file and print servers on a local area network, and the systems were always down more than they were up. Very frustrating. Turnkey IT migrated our email to Office 365 and simplified our network using additional cloud-based systems and cool advanced technologies. All our company's local data is backed up and replicated, security measures are in place to avoid dangerous threats online, and we have a really nice voice-over IP phone system. Remote users can make phone calls and appear like they're in the office when they're at a construction site. With reliable systems, our employees are more productive, and that's transformed the company's bottom line. Thank you, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success, too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. I love to barbecue, but there's nothing worse than running out of propane in the midst of cooking. It's all about being prepared, and that's how we look at your retirement planning.
Absolutely. That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group is fired up about helping you be ready.
Tune in each week as we discuss practical ways to be ready for your retirement.
Find us at investwithwmg.com and pick Wealth Management Group to be your +1 this summer. Listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
When you're looking for a caring dentist and an experienced dental staff who'll treat you like family, then it's time to call Dr. Y at Oaklawn Dental LLC. Dr. Yerkes and his team will create a smile that you'll want to share with family and friends. Go to oaklawndentist.com for a complete list of services, or call Oaklawn Dental for an appointment with Dr. Y at 708-424-5700. And for a limited time, get a $100 credit on your new account. Call 708-424-5700. Oaklawn Dental LLC for the smile you deserve.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Why should I pay the same amount for a compact parking space as I do for a regular space, right? What kind of lot doesn't reward me for selflessly buying a smaller car to provide more parking room for others?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
Dr. Bob Arnott for Salonpas.
I'm training for the world's most grueling paddleboard race. 32 miles of open ocean, high winds and surf. Naturally, I get a lot of muscle pain. 50 years in medicine has taught me what to look for in a pain reliever. Powerful, targeted, non-addictive, and available without a prescription. I found it in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. It has 2 powerful anesthetics that numb nerves right where it hurts. Salonpas gives me relief.
AM 560, The Answer.
A hurricane. Oh, I see what you did there. Hurricane Florence, now a Category 1. We'll be keeping an eye on it all morning long. Plus,
an eye on the hurricane.
Get it?
I like that.
And Evan Brown from Fox News will be joining us, too, at 7:35 to
by
give us
then
the
it'll
latest.
just be a drizzle.
No, partly cloudy. No, it's not. This is a serious storm just because of the water. I mean, look at right now. Look at poor John Berman.
Can't even see
at
him.
CNN. Yeah. He can barely hang on. I really want one of those reporters
to get injured. Yeah.
No, like a piece of plywood or some tin roof to hit him.
Somebody was standing.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
Is this thing
felt
on?
the same way.
And I wanted him to flip over the railing and fall into the ocean.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why.
Somebody was standing there yesterday, and ridiculously on Fox, in the
they
storm,
do it on every
and they're
cable
right
station.
next to like a light pole.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping that the wind would take him and just, smash him right into the light pole. Or
because
better
then you'd
yet,
apply for the job.
Yeah, sure. We all move one up when somebody dies. I didn't move one up when Matt Lauer lost his job for some reason. It didn't work. But anyway, I would just like to see, because straws, we're not supposed to have straws anymore. I'd like a
because they end up in turtles' noses.
Yeah, the Chinese do that. We don't do any of it. So let the Chinese stop using their straws. But a stray straw from McDonald's, say, just flying at 1,000 miles an hour and impaling one of those reporters. So I would like that. Yes, so I'm like you. I'm sadistic.
Yes. Tennis, anyone?
Yes.
Remember the cheer umpire, Carlos Ramos? He made the news when he penalized Serena Williams, not once, not twice, but 3 times. She was communicating with her coach.
Once,
she called him a thief.
3 times, not
and
a
then
lady.
She smashed her racket like a man.
Right. Well, you know the joke that Michelle Wolf, remember Michelle Wolf, the White House Correspondents' dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember the darling of the left? Did you know that like a year before or several months before, she told this joke, okay?
All right.
She said, Sports Illustrated just named LeBron its male athlete of the year. Sorry, Serena. So, she's a man, baby.
Oh, she fights like a man. She argues like a man.
Yeah, that's a warning. I didn't get coaching.
She did get coaching. The coach admitted that she got coaching.
You need to make an announcement that I didn't get coaching.
Oh,
I don't cheat. I didn't get coaching. How can you say that?
Except you did get coaching. Now here's the.
Oh, wait, hold on.
You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology. I have never cheated in my life. I have a daughter and I stand what's right for
I have a daughter?
Play the child card. Play the mom card. See, and I have so many friends who are supporting her, and it made me kind of sick to my stomach because I said, "Did you watch the whole thing? Did you smash? Did you see her smash the racket?"
I didn't watch it. I don't care about tennis.
And they
but
didn't
here's the
see
thing.
any of that. Did they see her going, "You owe me an apology"? You don't talk to an umpire like that.
Here,
There's some decorum and rules in tennis for a reason.
You know, you get your chest right in the umpire's chest. Here's the thing. The case for Serena, which has been made out by Billie Jean King, among others, although Billie Jean King, as we all know, her match against Bobby Riggs was rigged. But anyway.
I love that movie, by the way. That is a great movie. Yeah, keep talking.
Is that Gabrielle? Wait, I can tell that grunt.
Okay.
Maybe Gabriella Sabatini, or it's Monica Seles, which is an anagram for camel noises, by the way. Did you know that, Monica Seles? So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the case for Serena. The case is that men are just as bad as and they're not penalized. So that's the case. It's not that
they are penalized.
Her behavior was boorish, but men are allowed to be boorish. She was not allowed.
Men,
to be boorish.
they did it.
Funny you don't look boorish.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. But Dan presented the other day because that's what he does.
Right.
Present the facts.
Sure.
It's very methodical in that manner. But he said men get more penalized more than women. If you look at the totals of penalties given one season, it's more for men than for women.
Yes, but that's not the gravamen of the offense. The you just can't give a number. That doesn't give you anything. This behavior by Serena would have been tolerated had it been from a man. That's the case for Serena.
Well,
now, I don't know because I don't watch tennis. Who cares about tennis?
We're hearing from the umpire, Carlos Ramos. He said, I'm good under the circumstances. He told a Portugal's Tribuna Expresso. He called it an unhappy situation. And he said, don't worry about me. I'm fine. He said after the match, he stayed off the streets of New York to avoid any complicated situations.
Now, I heard, and this is strictly hearsay, hasn't Serena been abusive of women umpires? Don't they really?
Very competitive.
Umpirettes, as we call them.
Yes. So now they're thinking about forming a solidarity against her.
Union. They want
refuse,
a union.
Yeah, they want to unionize and then refuse to do her matches.
They should be replaced by machines. And the players should be replaced by machines as well. Yes.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the 12th juror in the Jason Van Dyke case has been picked. Now a judge decides if the trial will be moved out of Cook County. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Oh, don't bat your eyes at me, Brucey. Here is Mike Scott. Hi, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. 65 degrees, fair skies throughout this Friday. Hurricane Florence has made landfall in North Carolina. Fox's Griff Jenkins is on the scene in Morehead City, battling wind, rain, and has a few details.
And they tell me they have already done 200 rescues. There are more than 150 underway. They have 2 FEMA teams assisting their fire rescue. The New Bern Fire Rescue Team is the oldest chartered fire rescue team in the state of North Carolina. They are working absolutely frantically to get the number of calls coming in. The officials telling me when I called the emergency number to get through to the public information officer, she said, we're just getting hammered. I just got a call before yours. Someone said, I've got chest up to my water in my house. I got to get out. Come get me.
The eye wall of the Category 1 storm has already hit the coastline. Heavy rains and 10-foot storm surges have been turning streets into rivers for hours. About 330,000 homes and businesses have no power. Senate Democrats are sending the FBI a letter about Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. In a statement yesterday, California's Dianne Feinstein saying the letter about President Trump's nominee came from someone who strongly requested confidentiality but declined to come forward to press the matter further. In New York, Cynthia Nixon is conceding the nomination to Governor Andrew Cuomo following that state's Democratic primary.
I just called Governor Cuomo. And I congratulated him on his victory.
Speaking at her campaign headquarters last night, Nixon says she pushed Cuomo to the left on issues like marijuana while holding him accountable for broken subways in New York City. Volkswagen is parking its iconic Beetle because young drivers apparently have no love for the Bug. German carmaker confirmed it's ending in production of the Beetle in 2019, but left open the door to possibly bringing it back in the future. Candidate for mayor Paul Vallis under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while he was the head of CPS between 1995 and 2001. Fellow candidates Lori Lightfoot and Gary McCarthy criticized him yesterday for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. Chicago mayoral candidate Paul Vallis will be a guest with Bruce and Amy this morning here on AM 560 just after our 6:30 news. 2 men are in custody following an armed robbery in Glenview that ended up in Lake Michigan. It was a police chase that started in Glenview and ended in Chicago. 3 men entering a T-Mobile store on Waukegan Road yesterday, swiping about 10 cell phones, and they took off. State police chased them down Lakeshore Drive before they abandoned their vehicle at North Avenue Beach. 2 of the suspects were arrested in the sand. They had to fish one out of the water who jumped into the lake. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight in Baltimore. Blackhawks begin training camp today. And the Bengals are off to an NFL 2-0 start as they beat the Ravens of Baltimore 34-23. The news, a service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be a part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. Choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher will give you information the mainstream media won't.
The Labor Department announced that 203,000 people applied for jobless benefits last week. That is the lowest level since December of 1969. Can I repeat that? The lowest level since December of 1969.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
NASCAR's top 16 go all in from the City of Sin as the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs begin.
Kevin Harvick has been dominant. Mark Truex Jr. wins in Kentucky.
Can the Big Three continue their dominance?
Kyle Busch will win.
Or will a challenger emerge in the first of 10 playoff races? 16 drivers, 10 races, 1 champion. Live from Las Vegas, Sunday 3 Eastern, only on NBCSN.
My name is Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. Stop what you are doing because what I'm about to say will improve the quality of your life. ZYPPAH.com. That's Zipa. It's Happy Z spelled backwards. Zipa is designed to be comfortable, affordable, and effective at eliminating snoring. I want to help you stop snoring. Go to Zipa.com and order now. ZYPPAH.com. Snoring is a serious matter. Zipa will conquer your snoring problems. Go to Zipa.com and order now.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation, and it's free. Make plans now to attend the 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. Ask about the kids auction, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles, this show is a can't miss. The 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd, at the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. Get more information at ilnaclub.org. This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
5:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
In Batavia, there's a crash with injuries reported on Randall Road north of Mill. Eden's Expressway looking good right now. Kennedy is fine. Overnight work is cleared. In Mount Eisenhower, traffic a bit tight east of 25th Avenue. Travel time from 390 to downtown of 30 minutes. Van Stevenson delays from Cicero to Pulaski. 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. On Ryan, heavy starting past 31st. 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 17, roadwork, 87th to 95th. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 21. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, the exit to Grandin, Illinois is closed for construction. Southbound, the exit to Randolph is closed. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and warm. High of 84, and that's good news for Community Unit School District 118 students from Wakanda. We've just received word from the superintendent and district there. We talked earlier about school maybe perhaps being closed this morning because of electrical problems. They fixed it. All 118 schools, Wakanda High School all the way down, will be open today. Let's get your kids to class. 65 degrees at O'Hare, 65 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy and Bruce Wolf this morning, sitting in on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
So the 12th juror has been picked in the Jason Van Dyke trial. The 12th juror will be sworn in later today. But Van Dyke's attorneys have to decide whether or not they want to have a bench trial or let him be judged by the jurors. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. You're an attorney. What would you do?
My name is Bruce Wolf, and I'm here in for Amy Jacobson.
Oh, sorry.
Morning. Yes, I am an attorney. However, I do not practice criminal law.
Yes.
But I read the newspapers and Twitter. And actually, I'm a little bit upset with Channel 9. They had a tweet that said the teen, Laquan McDonald, who was not approaching police, according to the video. Way to
what
frame
video
it.
did they see?
Well, way to frame it.
That's just one dash cam video. There are other cameras,
but also,
and the jurors,
it's just
where the judge
way-
is going to see it.
That's not exactly good journalism. You're
Right.
you're biasing the case already. No wonder Van Dyke had to go on a publicity blitz a couple of weeks ago and have these interviews. with
Most of the
everybody.
jury is white. We have
Mostly
one,
white.
Yep, mostly white. One African-American woman, and two of the alternates are African-American. There are 5 alternates. But here's the thing, and Jessica D'Onofrio from Channel 7,
right?
She said that they were, because she's been covering the trial in the morning for jury selection. She said one of the jurors was crying to the judge, "I'm scared for my life."
When they let her go.
That you could hear her in the hallway.
Right.
That's how loud she was.
They let her go.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want. I mean, she can't get it together. You don't want her on the jury.
Apparently not. I think that
Unless
was by
that was an
agreement.
act to get out of it. But she said she feared for her life. She fears
Right.
for her family's life.
Hey, have you ever served on a jury?
No.
I have. And I was in federal court. I walk in there, and I see
Nice. Federal court's nice.
2, people of a certain extraction.
All right, can you speak English?
I think it's going to be.
Don't dance around
My
it.
concern was that they didn't speak English, and I was worried that I was going to be on a terrorist trial
Mhm.
because it's federal court. It turned out to be link card fraud, food stamp fraud, basically. But I was scared.
Because you thought there'd be some form of retaliation?
You never knew. And, I got to say guilty 27 times because I was the foreperson of the jury. Yeah, it was kind of fun. So, and in this trial, you're not going to believe this. This is so bizarre.
What?
They knew who I was.
Oh,
the
here we go.
attorneys and everything. Okay.
No, and they still picked you to be a juror?
One of the defense attorneys, there were 2 defense attorneys, during closing argument, I kid you not, mentioned Chet Chit Chat twice. Twice. Yes.
This reminds me of Ted
Wait,
2, or
is
was
this,
it Ted?
Is this SUV?
No, this is yeah, SUV, SVU.
SVU? Yeah. Well, I'm a dyslexic lawyer, okay? Why
so-
isn't dyslexic pronounced dyslexic? Okay. I mean, if it's dyslexic. So,
Also,
so you wanted to know what's going to happen
Right.
in the case.
Well, no,
should
no,
I
real
avoid
quick.
it?
Also, too, the defense attorneys filed a change of venue motion.
Right. They wanted to get it,
They
the case on Uranus.
Well, they have to move it to Will County, move it to any other county.
Like
but
people
Cook
there
County.
don't know. Of course they want to change a venue. They want it all white. It's not white enough for them? I mean, give me a break. There's only one African American on the jury.
Two alternates.
How much better do you want it? They got, and the prosecutors from King County, too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question about this case. So they're charging him with murder, but it's also a number of counts of aggravated battery. Is that what we call a lesser included, which will allow the jury to a cop-out? They won't have to convict him of murder. They'll convict him of an aggravated battery. And
the first-degree murder charges. He didn't wake up that morning and said, God, you know what? I think I'm going to go kill someone
you don't
today.
need that. It's not a requisite.
Says who?
That is not a prerequisite for one of the elements of murder. You don't have to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to murder somebody.
Well, I just want him to get a fair trial. And the Fraternal Order of Police President, Kevin Graham, came to his defense yesterday because every morning you see the same group of protesters. And the first day, they shut down 26th Street. They, it was, what a kind of show it was. All right. And there were car accidents because gapers, people were looking and hitting one another. And so yesterday it was Van Dyke's turn to be represented.
I think that people who have been here in the city of Chicago have seen that video over and over again. That is a one-dimensional video that does not tell the whole story.
And also, too, that he's a praying man. He's a good family man.
A praying man.
Yes,
he's a praying mantis. Here's the thing.
He prays every morning for Laquan McDonald's family.
The members of the
As a
SS.
rosary.
Members of the SS prayed every morning, okay? Again,
well, are you
objection,
defending?
irrelevant. Here, this is the union. This is the police union.
Yes.
When, after the shooting came up with this cockamamie story about what had happened, and then the video contradicts what the police union did. I mean, there's enough. Look, Gary McCarthy's never going to be the mayor of the city of Chicago because of this. Rahm Emanuel is no longer going to be the mayor of the city of Chicago because he quashed the Laquan McDonald video.
Yeah, he didn't
Look,
want it to
I'm
affect
not saying
his
the
election.
guy's guilty of murder. I'm not saying that at all. But
it sounds like you're implying
there's
it,
a serious,
and I don't like it. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, enter line 64636, type in DA, then a quick question, because
I have a serious
we're glad
question.
that you're not a juror, because I don't think you'd be open-minded.
I wouldn't either. I have a serious question, though, and that is, why do you pump the 15 extra bullets? You got him down.
Because he was on PCP, and he's according
on
to
the
his
ground.
friend and my source, he said he was flailing so much that
he's
from
on
the PCP
the ground.
that he wanted to make sure that you shoot to kill.
15
So
more
this
times.
wouldn't be a
Look,
big deal if he just shot him twice.
It would be less of a big deal. With each additional bullet, the case gets worse and worse. Remember this defense was raised that there's a thing called a knife gun, a gun that looks like a knife.
Yeah,
so
there is.
I know. Well, I know
There's
what
this-
they're going to throw in the kitchen sink on this thing. My guess at this point would be, just based on my street experience. Of course, it was the streets of Skokie. Nothing ever happened.
Mean streets of Skokie.
Yeah. But my guess is that it'll be some aggravated battery thing that he
That's
gets
what you think?
convicted of. Yeah.
All right. And if they show that Laquan McDonald picture, can't they get another picture of him without his cap and gown from 8th grade? He didn't graduate from high school. That's his 8th grade graduation picture. Dan said yesterday, he said, we should all just put baby pictures up of people. And that would be fair. Because that doesn't persuade a jury. No. Let's go to Candace, who joins us from DuPage. Good morning, Candace. How are you?
Good morning. Okay, yesterday I almost tweeted something, but then I thought, I better not, because if I was on that jury, there's no way I can convict him. Because, Amy, I've been listening to you on this subject, and this guy was totally high, and he had a knife in his hand. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong?
He did. He had a knife in his hand.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, but wait.
Once I'm asking you the.
She's talking. Ladies first.
I'm playing the lawyer.
Yeah, Bruce.
If I were his attorney, it's very simple. It's called an adrenaline dump. Have you ever had one? You practically
Police
black out.
officers are not supposed to have adrenaline dumps.
Well, they do.
Well,
They
that's
do.
they're supposed to be trained. They're not supposed to go crazy
And
like a
all
civilian.
those bullets were discharged within a matter of seconds.
Yes,
So
I know. You know what
I'm going to do Hillary Clinton. What difference does it make at this point?
Let me tell you, one thing there I will
Thanks,
say.
Candace.
One thing I will say is that police officers are taught to empty their gun. They are taught that.
Oh,
But
okay.
the guy is on the ground at that point. Why the 15
what?
more bullets?
Thanks, Candace, for the call.
Thank you, Candace.
Take Bill. You know, I don't know this new phone system. Can we take Bill, who
Hey.
joins us from Crown Point? Good morning, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I hear everybody talking about emptying the magazine and using excessive force and that nature, but in the police academy, and I'm talking from Jacksonville area, Florida, for the being a part of that police academy, they train you to utilize the amount of force necessary to control a threat. It's called the use of force matrix. Who's to say exactly what was going to take place? You say he's flailing on the ground, but you also have to take into the consideration that tunnel vision. When you're in that moment, unless you're placed and you're familiar with being able to operate the firearm in the heat of the moment, the last thing you're doing is you're not counting how many rounds that you're utilizing.
Well, that's interesting.
You're utilizing the amount of force necessary to control the threat.
Okay, but the amount of force necessary to control the threat was probably one bullet. But,
Well,
it's an interesting...
you
I have a
weren't there.
question. Why aren't we playing... I'm worried that Van Dyke is going to trip over an ottoman when he gets... Because this is a television show. This is on CLTV. And when I think of Van Dyke TV, I think of a guy tripping over an ottoman in an opening.
Let's go to Mike, who joins us from Bolingbrook. Good morning, Mike.
Bruce, you're a trip. I said the same thing months ago. But, yes, I do agree. Laura, Rob.
Yes.
I do agree
boom.
that one bullet was enough. The previous caller, who obviously was a police officer at one point,
right?
You do have to manage your bullets. I mean, you don't just dump the weapon. And the video says it all. The guy was 15 to 20 feet away. He was on the ground. There was probably 15 more cops there. I mean, come on, this is a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, look,
TV.
And what compounds this, and it's not necessarily relevant, is that nobody got to see the video, so they were hiding it. I mean, Rahm Emanuel is paying the ultimate price for this. It's the end of his political career. I do have another question about the TV thing, not the Dick Van Dyke theme, but this is a little bit more serious. No, my question is, this is on CLTV.
Right.
You have to have cable in order to see this. In the neighborhood that's affected, do these people even have cable television?
Bruce, guess what? They do. Thanks for the phone call.
Right.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. Hey, Sean Hannity here to tell you that getting organized is simple and easy with Store Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. They're durable, store-lock modular systems. They're built the old-fashioned way, made to order, exactly how you want it, and they're 100% crafted in the USA. And these storage systems have dividers, liners, layouts. All are made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Store Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Your custom system is powder-coated in-house in any color that you want, plus it's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized really fast. Store Lock fits any home or business, will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. All you have to do is order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call now at 1-800-STOR-LOC. That's Store Lock, 1-800-STORE-LOCK. And check out storelock.com for upcoming events.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we are on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is here, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at KelleherBuckley.com.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you could either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. We got a great text message that says, if I can read this, guilty people take juries, innocent people take benches. Because they're deciding today, the defense, whether or not to take the jury or to just have a bench trial in this case.
Right.
And then we'll also find out later today if this case is going to be moved out of Cook County. Because that's what the judge said. I'll seat the jurors first. I'll seat them first, and then we'll decide whether or not. Because every day, there's people protesting every day. How does that not affect the jurors' decision?
It's already mainly white people on the jury.
It is. It's all white, one African-American, and then 2 of the 5 alternates are African-American. Also, there's an Asian.
Why are you laughing about that?
Where's the movie? It's like, is there an Asian in your community?
Is it a crazy rich Asian?
No.
That's the new movie.
Oh, and have you seen it yet?
I've read about it, and the movie actually is pretty bad. Except there's the sets are and the way they live it's sumptuous.
I heard
it's rich.
Yes,
and people love wealth, and that's what it's all about.
The cinematography I heard was beautiful.
My
mom said it was a beautifully shot film, but
beautifully shot, and it's about beautiful
people and
and
they're rich, things that we'll never have.
Right.
All right, Bill joins us from the South Side. Good morning, Bill.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say, these officers are out there to serve and protect, and with a guy not wanting to be arrested walking down the street with a knife, if he'd have gotten maybe another 50 feet and taken a hostage or held a knife to somebody's wife's throat or something like that to avoid being caught, people would think a little bit differently.
Bill,
about
can I
the
ask you a
action
question?
reflection.
Can I ask
he
you
was
a question?
fixing for a fight.
But
that
once
night.
he was down on the ground with one bullet in him, that's a little bit different from what you're talking about, isn't it, Bill?
Well, even with one bullet, though, they tell you, like in any of these gun training things and stuff, that one bullet isn't enough to kill somebody, that you are supposed to empty your magazine or at least shoot people more than once.
If he's lying on the ground and isn't posing a threat at that point, do you need to empty the chamber? I'm asking you that.
That's questionable, but he still posed a threat because he was armed.
It's questionable.
Because he was armed.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
And also, people should know, too, that he was walking toward a neighborhood where a lot of the police officers' family members lived. Okay? People fail to forget that. Now, back to the Asian.
Chairman Dodge, please. Will you tell him that it's Mr. Joshua Benjamin from the NAACP on the line? I would like to know how many members. Does the chairman have any Asians or any Native Americans on the committee? No Asians and no natives. Well, you've been of a great deal of help. Just forget I even called. Just tell him I said hi.
That's awesome.
What is that from?
Oh, Justin, help me. Oh, distinguished gentleman. Yes,
is right. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, President Trump denies the hurricane death toll in Puerto Rico.
It's all about him.
Oh, and it fuels the fire for the Democrats for the midterms. Plus, Bruce will sing Hello, Vallis. Paul Vallis will be joining us
Vallis
at 6:35.
Sounds like Dolly. It rhymes with
No,
Dolly.
Hello, Vallis. Well, hello,
Yeah, I get it.
Vallis. And you've got to print your words. You've got to get ready to go.
I can't.
And we'll ask Paul Vallis about Chuy Garcia entering the race and the Tribune's article about a pedophile in CPS while he was CEO. But first, let's go into the newsroom, check in with Mike Scott about Hurricane Florence and all the news from here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Florence is the focus of the Fox News report coming up in just a moment. Here locally, a Cicero police officer badly wounded in a shootout with a suspect. Chicago insiders want Mendoza to run for mayor. Cubs edge the Nationals in 10. White Sox open a road set with the Orioles tonight, and the Blackhawks begin training camp. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Hurricane Florence battering the Carolina coast. I'm Dave Anthony. The eye walls reach shore.
The core of the strongest winds coming on shore, and the landfall, the eye-making landfall, is the calmest part of the storm, the lowest pressure point.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean expects feet of rain and catastrophic flooding.
It's the wind now. It's the surges coming in. It's the excessive flooding that's already started in inland communities. When this water starts to move, when high tide hits around noon and comes into Morehead City, it's going to make the conditions even worse.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins, Jonathan Series, and Wrightsville Beach.
Now, when will the storm pass? The storm is frustratingly slow, and so all of these heavy winds, we're going to be putting up with this for a long time.
More than 300,000 people have lost power. It was a bad overnight for some who stayed along the North Carolina coast. Fox's Evan Brown live in Wilmington.
Yeah, Dave, a hotel in the city of New Bern is partially collapsed, and more than 100 people are in need of rescue. This as the powerful winds of the eye wall are tearing through this region. This is Mayor Dana Outlaw.
The most important thing right now is to get folks safe. It doesn't really matter if they heeded our advice or not. We still want them safe.
Meanwhile, here in Wilmington, the wind has been so strong the rain is falling sideways. The trees are bending. It is not safe to be outdoors, Dave.
Evan, why did houses explode and catch fire in suburban Boston? It's gas-related, but still under investigation. At least 39 houses were damaged in 3 towns, prompting thousands of people to evacuate as crews turned off gas and power.
Thankfully, neighbors helped neighbors. Police, fire, and our first responders jumped into action quickly.
Governor Charlie Baker trying to find the exact cause. An 18-year-old was killed when a chimney blew off a house, toppling his car in Lawrence. Fox News, fair and balanced.
or 65 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Peoria Army National Guard team is rushing to be part of the hurricane response to Florence this morning. The Chinook helicopter crews from the National Guard's Bravo Company, 2nd Battalion, have taken off. Governor Rauner ordering the crews to North Carolina, part of the state's response to help out the Carolinas. An elementary school in Elgin will remain closed through Monday because of mold in that school. District officials shut down Coleman Elementary after working to remove mold from several classrooms and then found more in common areas. Candidate for mayor Chicagoland Paul Vallis is under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while he was the head of CPS between 1995 and 2001. Fellow candidates Lori Lightfoot and Gary McCarthy were critical of him yesterday for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. A Cicero police officer recovering after being wounded during a shootout with a suspect. Authorities saying a man began firing at officers yesterday near the Cicero exit on the Stevenson Expressway after officers tried to pull over the vehicle he was driving. Officer Luis Duarte was shot multiple times. A man with a concealed carry license jumped out of his car and began shooting at the suspect when Duarte was under fire. That suspect then suffered a gunshot wound and is in serious condition. Jury selection wrapped up in the trial of Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke, who's charged with the murder of Laquan McDonald in 2014. The process was completed yesterday after 12 jurors and 5 alternates were chosen over the course of 3 days of questioning. Van Dyke's attorney still wants the case moved out of Cook County. Also, Van Dyke's attorneys and the judge must get together and choose today whether they want that case to be decided by the jury or the judge. Mayor Emanuel and Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan moving forward with a proposed consent decree aimed at reforming the Chicago Police Department.
The consent decree is a detailed and comprehensive roadmap to reform that Chicagoans need and can be proud of.
Madigan announcing yesterday that the final draft of that document was submitted to a federal judge. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. There's a big hole to fill in the Cubs bullpen now with the loss of Pedro Strop. The righty will miss 2 weeks or more after injuring his hamstring while running down the first baseline trying to beat out a double play. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight in Baltimore. The news is a service of smart911.com. It's a free service coming to Chicago this fall that allows you to provide important medical and household information to assist first responders in emergencies, because every second counts. Sign up today at smart911.com. 6:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains how important energy production is to the United States.
Don't think now that it's an accident that America is the biggest producer of oil now in the entire world. But this has always been the key to American foreign policy success. Why do you think all these years, why have I always pushed energy independence?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Hey, Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our Friends and Family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago. A lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They raised my taxes in the middle of the recession, and my house was not worth the value that they claimed it was.
That's how it works in Illinois. Even when your home value decreases, your property taxes continue to increase.
We pay the bill, but they have no money to pay for having a meal.
The government is stealing your home. Listen to Mike S. in Naperville.
We're overtaxed, and my home value is not appreciated because of how much we're paying in property taxes.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbor's stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
It is 6:08 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Batavia, there's a collision involving a semi and a limo. Went on Randall Road near Mill Street. Reagan Tollway, eastbound 88, heavy 83 at Roosevelt. Crashed there. It's now cleared. Eden's Expressway is 5. Eastbound Spur is a little heavy. Toll Plaza to Waukegan Road. Inbound Kennedy, traffic slow 190 to Canfield. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, up on 20. From Eisenhower delays from Manheim to Harlem, Damon to Burn Circle. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown, up on 30. Mount Stevenson delays start around Harlem, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on 34. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, 27 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today mostly sunny, high 84. Clear night, low 64. Full day of sunshine. Tomorrow, high 82. Then a mainly clear night with patchy late night fog, low 66. Sunday will be mostly sunny, warm and humid with a high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560 The Answer.
Officially 64 at O'Hare. Next news 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Friday morning, Amy Jacobson. Dan Proft, not here. Bruce Wolf, here, present. Hi. How are you?
Top of the morning.
Yeah, he'll be here today, and then you're going to fill in on Monday. Dan's getting a sex change operation. He's transitioning. His new name's going to be Daniela.
Oh, I thought he was going to become a man. Okay. All right.
Oh! No, you
Them's
didn't.
fighting words.
Keeping it.
That's a guy who I worked with him for those many years. Every time I bring up a Broadway play, he questioned my sexuality.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I don't know why he would do that,
I
Bruce.
don't know. Why can't a woman be more like a man? Yes. Gay! Every single time.
Every single time.
Just because I like a good Broadway play.
It's all right. Did you see Hamilton yet?
Waiting for it to come to Niles East High School. Yes. That's where I see all my plays.
John Hersey High School is going to do a rendition in the spring. I'll buy you a
When
ticket.
will that be available for high school productions?
I don't know.
Probably about 3-4 decades from now.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on Hurricane Florence. It has now been downgraded to a Category 1, but it's still packing a punch. Storm surge anywhere from what they were saying 3 feet to 14 feet. And people are already calling to be rescued, which they had ample warning to get out. They chose to stay in, and now they need to be rescued by the Cajun Navy. We'll be speaking with Eben Brown at 7:35. He is in the eye of the storm. Hopefully we can get a cell phone signal with him.
How do you make sure that you're in the eye? Because it moves.
Well, it does move.
And then if it moves, then you wind up not in the eye anymore, and you could be blown to bits. Yes. I just worry for Eben.
So Trump rejected yesterday via 2 tweets Hurricane Maria's death toll. Did you read the tweet?
This is the hurricane from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, from Puerto Rico. He said 3,000 people did not die in the 2 hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico. When I left the island after the storm had hit, they had anywhere from 6 to 18 deaths. As time went by, it did not go up by much. Then, a long time later, they started to report really large numbers like 3,000. This was done by the Democrats in order to make me look as bad as possible when I successfully raised billions of dollars to help rebuild Puerto Rico. If a person died for any reason like old age, just add them onto the list. Bad politics. I love Puerto Rico! !
Nate Silver, I don't always agree with him, and he's been off in some of his predictions, but he called this the lowest of the low that Trump has gone. Because, 3,000 people did die. And you notice that Ron DeSantis, who's, I believe, was described by Brett Baer as the Trumpiest of Trump supporters. We'll talk to Brett Baer. Are we talking to Brett Baer?
Yeah, Brett Baer at 707.
Okay. Ron DeSantis, who's running for, governor in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah. So he had to distance himself from what Trump said. Governor Rick Scott had to distance himself from what Trump said.
Even Paul Ryan, who never really pipes up when President Trump is out of line.
I have no reason to dispute these numbers. I was in Puerto Rico after the hurricane. It was devastating.
And you know who's the next guy who will be distancing himself from these numbers?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Well, the people
there
were so many different.
I didn't say that.
The people, right away, 6 to 18 people, one person drowned. There's horrible things that happen. But after the hurricane, people died because there were no resources there for them. There was no electricity. Some people who
you don't understand.
had dialysis had died, passed away. There's no AC.
No, you don't understand. They were counting every old person who died. Is that a good Trump? Is that good?
That's not a good Trump. But
I can't wait till Nixon becomes president again.
Several different studies. University.
I am not a crook.
Can I talk? Researchers at Millikan Institute, in collaboration with scientists from the University of Puerto Rico, Graduate School of Public Health, the New York Times, CNN, everybody did an investigation. They went to the funeral homes. They went to the morgue. They said, how did these people die? So it was not a success. Here's one of those scientists.
We are giving strong evidence that should not generate political controversy.
Yeah, this should not. What President Trump should have done, may I?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We did our best. We had FEMA on the ground and other resources. Next time, we will try and do better. I feel sorry for those who lost their lives in Puerto Rico. Now, remember, he came out.
They don't have a good electric grid in Puerto Rico.
That electric company was bankrupt long before
That's not Donald Trump's
hurricane
fault.
hit.
But he manages to make it bad because he's a narcissistic idiot. I voted for him. I'm going to vote for him again. Let me go on the record right there.
When he does things right,
the guy's
I praise
crazy.
him.
Woodward's written this book, which I heard Chuck Todd talking to Hugh Hewitt. Did some show prep here. Okay, so and they were both saying nobody's actually read the Woodward book because he actually it's somewhat praiseworthy of Trump. He's got good people around him if he'd only listen to them. This is the funny thing is that under normal circumstances, if a president said something like this, we'd go ballistic. But this has become the norm. This is crazy nuts. 3,000 people died.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA. And then a quick comment. Was Trump's tweet out of line? Was it insensitive? Does it
yes.
Does it cheapen us as a country? And you should count. Should you count deaths linked to the storm?
But remember,
that was another point of contention yesterday.
Here's the thing. I don't care that Trump doesn't act presidential. When he has these speeches for the various candidates, he says, "Oh, they want me to act presidential." And then he starts, with his little imitation of what a president is supposed to be like. I don't care that he doesn't act presidential. As a conservative, I want to diminish the power of the presidency. Donald Trump, to me, is my apprentice. He wooka for me. I don't know wooka for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care that he does this stuff. Yeah, it makes me cringe a little bit, but I've gotten used to it.
Well, someone who's not getting used to it is Carmen Cruz. That's his arch nemesis. She is the mayor of San Juan.
How stupid, how tone deaf, how surreal, how insensitive, how offensive to the relatives of the 3,000 people who died in Puerto Rico. Just, how wrong in every single way.
And
morally, politically, I mean, how can this be coming from the President of the United States? And frankly, he's doing so much harm, not only to, as we're in the midst of hurricane preparation and dealing with a hurricane, he's doing harm even to his political allies in Florida. There is a reason why two people who are very close to Donald Trump, Rick Scott.
Well, she said at the end, if you would let her talk.
She talked enough. It was a filibuster. She goes, how this,
she
how
went
that.
On to, how do you
she went
solve
on to
say
problem
that.
Problem like the Maria count.
She said, we'll get to the song in a second. Okay. She did say this should motivate people in Florida and key states to get out and vote in the midterm elections. If you're not registered to vote, use this to get out and register to vote. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. How do you solve a problem like Maria?
How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down?
I was going to start crying.
How do you find a word that means Maria?
A flippity-gibbet.
Flippity-gibbet, a will-o'-the-wisp. A clown.
A clown?
Many a thing you
Marnie
know.
Nixon sounds
I just
fantastic.
listened to that all day. No, but how does President Trump solve a problem like Maria? Does he come back and apologize? Should he apologize? 312-642-5600.
Maria.
Let's go to Mike, who joins us from Crown Point. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Bruce. I don't see the need to apologize for blatant exaggerations and lies. There's no way 3,000 people died directly because of that storm. Just like in Chicago when it's a bad winter and some people have diseases died from the cold, or in the summer it gets too hot. You can't blame the mayor for that. It's just preposterous.
I didn't say Donald Trump was to blame for it, but no, people did die.
People did die.
Mike, remember about 20 years ago when 500 people died over a very hot weekend in Chicago? Those people weren't going to die anyway. They died because it was too hot.
Well,
now, did I blame Mayor Daley at the time? No, I'm not blaming Donald Trump either. But he's so sensitive.
No, listen, without air conditioning, electricity, it exacerbated their condition, and they died earlier than they should have.
Right.
And that is what happened in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Let's go to Chris, who joins us from Aurora. Good morning, Chris.
All right, Dan, Dan. I meant to say Bruce.
We're
Bruce,
fungible.
This is where I think you and Trump differ. You have a tendency, and I mean this with all due respect because I'm a big fan of yours, have a tendency to cower down when pushed with like somebody that's going against you. Where Trump, day after day after day, is constantly attacked by the media, constantly attacked from other outside sources, and then he punches back, and then everybody's like, "You're a bully." Well, wait a minute. How are you going to have a guy that constantly gets kicked around and he doesn't stand up for himself? But when he does counterpunch and he hits harder than the person who hits him, now he's the person who's the aggressor? No,
Chris,
he's just standing up and saying, "This is what it is." Go ahead.
Why did you? Thank you. And why did you have to bully me like this? You're making me cower right now. No, here's the thing. The thing is, Chris. Yeah, of course the media is overzealous. That's the thing I like most about Trump. He's brought out how much fake news there really is. There is fake news.
Yeah, but this isn't fake news, and you don't mess around with people
but the problem is
loved ones of people who have died.
The problem is that Trump is, and apparently he's the guy who's going to, be the instrument who's going to destroy the media, and I'm happy that he's doing it. But he engages in fake news himself because there really were 3,000 people who died.
Let's go to Scott. All right, Chris. We're going to have to move. Hi,
Bruce, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, my question is who commissioned the study? Who paid for the study? Who wanted the study? Why are they studying this? Also, I would like to know the number of deaths that there were total for the same time period. What percentage of the total deaths are they
good
attributing
questions,
to the
Scott. And here's
hurricane?
the answer. You want to know the answer?
No, they use a state-of-the-art mathematical model, and the team compared the total number of deaths during that time to the expected number based on historical patterns, as well as age, sex, socioeconomic status, and migration from the island.
Scott,
I have no idea what I just read.
The only person who is questioning this is Donald Trump.
No, the study was commissioned by the government of Puerto Rico and was carried out by its independent firm.
Yeah, there were 3,000 people who died.
Millikan Institute.
But Donald Trump is so sensitive that it's
because
all about him, and he didn't have to make it about him. But that's who he is.
Thanks, Scott, for the phone call. We're glad you're back. Please call in because we miss you. Barry, who joins us from Portage, Indiana. Good morning, Barry.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Nothing.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
We all seen the 2,000 skids of water sitting on that air tarmac. We all knew that the warehouses were filled with food that was brought in there by FEMA, which were eaten by the rats. How is this all Trump's fault?
Nobody's saying it is. The problem is that
yes.
What we are talking about is his being disrespectful
I'm
to
not
the death
saying it's
toll,
Trump's
to the
fault.
number of people
That's
that died.
not the issue. The issue is this one tweet that he came up with yesterday where he tries to dispute the number of people who died. They did die because of that. But that doesn't mean it's his fault.
Look at the studies on that. Exactly. And that's what he is ticked off about. And I think it's being misinterpreted of what everybody's understanding of what Trump said.
Well,
Trump
I
is
take
saying,
the plain meaning
kill
of,
them.
you're right, Barry, because we should never look at the plain meaning of the words from Donald Trump. We should try to divine what he really meant.
Let's go to Bill, who joins us from the Northwest side. Good morning, Bill.
Hi, I'm calling to say that it really depends on how you count. When we had our two towers hit by terrorists in New York, we counted raw number of people dead on that day or the day after from that event. You know, the official numbers reported by the government of Puerto Rico were about 100 deaths for several months. But then someone decided to do the byproduct effect of things like lack of electricity and health issues exacerbated.
Which are all relevant. They are all relevant, and there are a number of studies here. And you asked how I prefer to count? Using the base 10 system. That's how I prefer to count.
Thanks, Bill,
Thank
for the
you.
phone call.
You're welcome.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have zero tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Okay, coming up at 6:36, Paul Vallis will be here, and we've had a request. Oh, why?
Somebody wrote a parody.
Somebody wrote a parody called "Hello, Paul Vallis" instead of "Hello, Dolly." I gave you the homework assignment.
Because Vallis rhymes with Dolly.
I gave you the homework assignment a few days ago.
Sure.
Are you ready?
No, but let's do it anyway.
All right. This is from Mike on the North Side.
Yes.
He sent in the lyrics. Hello, Vallis.
Hello, Paul Vallis. Well, hello, Paul Vallis. Chicago's glad to have you back where you belong. Help the needy Paul Vallis, not the greedy Paul Vallis. Should I do a Louis Armstrong style?
Yes.
Chicago's had robbed, treated wrong for just too long, too long.
School
kids are wailing, parents are praying. Schools are falling apart. You can bet. No sweat. So give it an old college try, Paul Vallis, and you'll win in a mile, Paul Vallis. And kick the 9.5-digit midget back to Wilmette.
Woo! All right, applause. That was very good.
I did what I could with it.
Thank you.
I did what I could.
You know
also,
what,
Louis Armstrong is rolling over and it's great. Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, yes, Paul Vallis will be here.
Eyes of blue, red roses too.
We'll ask him if he's
Ouch.
threatened by Chuy Garcia possibly entering the race, and then the
Just have to wipe your spit.
Tribune article about a pedophile in CPS when he was CEO. What exactly that's all about. But first, let's get into the newsroom. How's Hurricane Florence doing? Here is Mike Scott.
Florence is making a mess and hitting hard on the North Carolina coast. That is the eye wall of Hurricane Florence hitting the town of New Bern, North Carolina. Over 150 have called there for water rescues. They didn't leave when they were told to. NBC News correspondent Garrett Hockey was in that city and has been fighting against the storm to try and make his way back into town.
We're seeing pretty large trees, pretty significant damage here. That's just going to make it more challenging for us to get back into New Bern, where we've been told there are water rescues that need to happen, and that the areas of town even further inland from the Neuse River than we were at yesterday are suffering pretty significant flooding.
The Category 1 storm is expected to crash on shore and leave behind a massive surge of water when the tide comes in later this morning. At least one person is dead in northern Massachusetts. A series of natural gas explosions have gone off. A man in his car passed away when a chimney fell on his vehicle after a home exploded yesterday. Several others injured. Now, fire crews responded to explosions or fires at 70 buildings in Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover, about 20 miles north of Boston. There are reports the FBI and the BATF have been called to the scene. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo will run for re-election this November. Voters nominating Cuomo yesterday in spite of a challenge from former actress Cynthia Nixon, forcing Cuomo to spend millions of dollars on television spots in recent weeks. An elementary school here in Elgin will remain closed through Monday because of mold in classrooms. Candidate for Mayor Paul Vallis is under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while ahead of CPS between 1995 and 2001. Fellow candidates Lori Lightfoot and Gary McCarthy were critical of Vallis for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Martin Lovett. Former chairman of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission wants Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza to run for mayor. Marty Castro had previously backed Cook County Commissioner Jesus Chuy Garcia during his failed bid to become mayor in 2015. Chicago sports found Javi Baez dropping a bunt single in the 10th. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. White Sox begin a 3-game series with the Orioles tonight in Baltimore. Blackhawks begin training camp today. The NFL weekend is off to a start. Bengals now 2-0, beating the Ravens 34-23. The news, a service of Compassion International. For just $5 a day, you can sponsor a child through Compassion International. Pocket change to you, life-changing for a child in need. Be part of the change and become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 6:33 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964. Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Just listen.
We're a contracting architecture firm with 50 employees in 2 states. We hosted our own email and file and print servers on a local area network, and the systems were always down more than they were up. Very frustrating. Turnkey IT migrated our email to Office 365 and simplified our network using additional cloud-based systems and cool advanced technologies. All our company's local data is backed up and replicated, security measures are in place to avoid dangerous threats online, and we have a really nice voice over IP phone system. Remote users can make phone calls and appear like they're in the office when they're at a construction site. With reliable systems, our employees are more productive, and that's transformed the company's bottom line. Thank you, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $795 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
In Batavia, northbound Randall Road is closed now from Mill to Fabian Parkway after a collision involving a truck and a limo. Eden Spur eastbound tight to the toll plaza to Waukegan Road. And it's 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, it's 22 minutes. Crash at Elston, the left lane. Kennedy, 32 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, 22. John Eisenhower, 40 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound, 32. About Stevenson. Play start before Harlem. It is 50 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound, 36. Ryan, 25 minutes. 95 to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes. Society to the merge. Bishop, 427. Delays on the northbound tri-state from Roosevelt to Lawrence. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. It comes from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, and we should have a sunny and warm day today. High 84. Clear and warm 64 overnight. Warm with plenty of sun tomorrow. High 82. Sunday, warm, humid 85. Monday, a little less humid, and as we approach kickoff for Monday Night Football, we'll wrap up the day partly sunny and warm with a high of 85 as the Seahawks come to town. 64 right now. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
Hello, Paul Vallis. Well, hello, Paul Vallis. Chicago's glad to have you back where you belong. Sounds like Ray Bolton. The Cowardly Lion.
Paul Vallis.
Not the
I joined in. It was better. Paul
I would say
Vallis.
so.
All right. That's Amy Jacobson, Bruce Wolf here in for Dan Proft, and we had one of our avid listeners email us and say, hey, you should change the lyrics to Hello Dolly to Hello Paul Vallis. So in honor of Paul Vallis, because he is joining us right now, we decided to have a little fun and sing that song in the last half hour. Good morning, Paul Vallis. How are you?
Well, good morning. It's a horrible song to wake up to, but thank you for the thought.
We try. Couple of days have been pretty rough. Chicago Tribune this morning had an article pretty much saying that you're to blame for covering up a sex abuse crime that was committed by a school in Plainville. Just tell us about Martin Lovett, what you knew and when you knew it, if anything.
Yeah, well, first of all, those accusations were made by two of my opponents, so it's obviously we're in full throttle in the electoral season. Martin Lovett was a individual who left the school district a year before I arrived, and he was on the local school council at a school in question, and he was also an activist in the community. At the time, he was a pedophile, but he kind of masqueraded as this individual who worked with youth and reached out to. In fact, when he was killed in 2000. In 2000.
Yeah, shot by one of his accusers.
That's right. He was by one of his abusers. The initial stories kind of praised him as being this community activist, etc.
Wow.
The bottom line for us is, during my tenure, we didn't know anything about him in terms of his background, in terms of, we had never received any complaints about him. We had nothing in his file. As I mentioned, he had left the school district a year before we arrived. About 12 years later, two individuals made an accusation that they had complained about Lovett for a number of years, mostly to the local principal, and the only connection with us was they claimed that they had sent us a fax. They had sent my office of fax, Mayor Daley of fax, reporters of fax, a number of school administrators of fax, a fax that we could never verify receiving, but that fax was not sent until after he had been killed. So about a couple months after he got killed, they made an allegation that a fax had been sent. The bottom line is we never had any knowledge of him, or for that matter, any communication that we received about him. Because had we received that, we had all sorts of mechanisms in place.
Okay, Mr. Vallis, and I have to ask you this and this is according to the Tribune story. So you're claiming that you've never received the fax or any confirmation that it was successfully transmitted. However, the Tribune says, and they're the ones who are going to try to win a Pulitzer based on this whole series,
right?
The cover sheets showing the intended recipients and indicated the faxes were successfully transmitted. So we have a dispute a factual dispute right here, Mr. Vallis.
Well, look, the bottom line is we have no evidence that we received the fax. And you have
I'm just telling you right now, the Tribune shared with you, your campaign, a copy of the letter along with cover sheets showing the intended recipients and indicating the faxes were successfully transmitted. So were they
Yeah,
successfully transmitted or weren't they?
Right, but we can't prove that they were successfully transmitted. Let me also point out that what
Well,
we're
wait a minute.
talking
The
about
Tribune is
one
saying
fact.
that they just shared with your campaign a copy of the letter along with cover sheets showing the intended recipients and indicating the faxes were successfully transmitted. You're trying to dispute that. Did it happen or didn't it?
Let him talk.
I'm not disputing that someone sent the fax. All I'm disputing is that we never received the fax.
No,
no. What he's saying, he didn't. Somebody could have sent it, but they could have never put it on his desk. You know how many
Tribune
faxes
says
they get?
they shared with your campaign a copy of the letter along with cover sheets showing the intended recipients and indicating the faxes were successfully transmitted.
Look, so let me respond by saying we have no evidence that we ever received the fax. Also, let me put this into perspective. I'm running a district with 50,000 employees, local school council members, parent volunteers. Sometimes we receive 150, 200 faxes a day. Let me also point out that the one fax in question, and it is one fax that was sent to a bunch of people, Pam Zeckman, Mayor Daley, a number of administrators. Nobody ever remembers getting any contact. The fax was sent at, I think the timestamp is like 7:20 on a Friday night. So that's it. So there's an accusation that someone sent us an anonymous fax, alleging that this principal, after the guy was killed, right? So we have to understand this is after he is killed, not before he is killed, not during the time that he was committing these heinous acts. So at the end of the day, that's it. That's the only link in connection. I don't remember the guy. I don't remember receiving any information. And if anyone knows what we did in those days, we had a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline. Yep. We had crisis interventions. We had the Office of School and Community
Mr. Vallis, you have
that
all these
liaisoned
things
with
in
each of the
place.
schools.
Yes, you have all these things in place, and yet there's a failure in the system because a fax comes. How many faxes do you need in order for it to alert you to this situation? And also, you're saying there was scant attention to this, but the Tribune, the Sun-Times, the Chicago Defender, and TV News were covering this at the time. I mean,
well, first of all, let me point out that he was not an employee and he was an activist in the community. And the initial response after he died, was that he was some sort of a community activist.
Oh, he's a hero. Well, and people should know that the LSC is to be on the LSC, you are voted in by the community members. It has nothing to do with CPS. LSC is all.
And plus, look, when he was killed, he was a security. He worked security for the Chicago Tribune. So the bottom line here is, look, this is what he did was heinous, and I'm not in any way being defensive. The bottom line is, we routinely in a given year would pull a dozen, sometimes 24 people out of schools when accusations were made about wrongdoing, even before those investigations were complete. In fact, we had a whole floor. It was called Camp Beverly. So because we would always err on the side of pulling people out. And there were many, many mechanisms that people could have used to communicate what was going on. We received no communication until after he was killed. And then the allegation that we received this fax, no one who works for me recalls ever receiving any communication. That's a fact. It's a simple fact. So the bottom line is, if they sent the fax, we never received it. And at the end of the day, had we received it, we would have done what we had done probably hundreds of times over a period of 6 years. We would have pulled that individual out of the, obviously he was out of the school, but he had been killed and he wasn't a school employee, but we would have investigated the principal in question. So the only connection with us is a fax that these two individuals claimed were sent on a Friday night after, and this is after that he had been killed, and to basically say that this principal had colluded in covering up his crimes, something of course which she of course later denied. But I'll defer that to the Inspector General. But that is it. That is our connection. And anyone who knows what we did during that period between the crisis fund that we created, to provide financial support for victims of violence in the community, to the youth outreach officers that we would dispatch to the homes, to the crisis intervention officers the Office of Crisis Intervention that would, constantly, almost weekly, be in schools when there were crises or where information was brought to our attention. If anything, we created redundant systems to deal with these type of issues. And we had
Right, but then when you were gone, they got rid of that department,
that
right? Didn't they? When you left CPS, didn't they get rid of that department? At least it wasn't in place when Arnie Duncan was there.
Yeah, you've got to ask yourself, what happened to the Office of Investigations? What happened to the Office of Crisis Intervention? What happened to the hotline? What happened to the youth outreach officers? I mean, look, I created a fund and we would provide 24/7 security and crisis intervention. That means if a child had been killed in the community or attacked or abused in the community, we would dispatch our crisis intervention teams to that school and to that community. I mean, I literally raised money to pay for over 100 funerals over a 6-year period.
Mr. Vallis, look, I understand what you're saying, and you speak well on your behalf. But we're living in an era where the Pope may have to resign because he wasn't paying enough attention to things. Rahm Emanuel is not running for mayor anymore because he sat on a video. And, you could just say, hey, the system didn't work in this situation. I mean, we have these.
Well, look, I'm not suggesting, I'm not suggesting that the system worked, nor am I suggesting that the system's foolproof. I'm just responding to an accusation that somehow we might have received a fax, and incidentally, this fax was sent or allegedly sent to 6 or 7 different individuals, all of whom do not recall ever receiving the fax or receiving information on this individual.
Well, I think it's a hit job.
And remember, this is a fax. This isn't us being warned about what this individual was doing. This is a fax that was sent out. After this individual had been killed, and the fax focused on accusations that the principal had been aware of what was going on, and she had not responded to it.
Oh, it sounds like she was covering for him. It was very bizarre. Let's move on to El Gallito, Luis Gutierrez, making his announcement yesterday or the day before.
I think I'm a pretty convincing person. I think I'm going to be pretty adamant. And I assure you that Chewy's going to circulate petitions to put his name on the ballot, or I will.
I mean, so Luis Gutierrez is out. We were really thinking that he was going to jump into the race. But Chuy Garcia, does that threaten you at all? Does that concern you at all?
No, look, I said from the beginning that I was running, to really offer very specific recommendations and suggestions on how the city can deal with its critical needs, particularly improving public safety and making sure that our neighborhoods are safe and secure, providing economic opportunities to areas that have been long neglected, and to bring the type of financial sanity to the management of the school budget, of the city's budget, so that, we're just not continually punishing taxpayers with rising property taxes, fees, and fines. And so nothing's changed for me, whether Garcia gets in or Gutierrez gets in or Bill Daley or any of the unannounced candidates who are now considering entering the race, now since, of course, Rahm Emanuel has resigned. And I've also said basically this: if you didn't have courage enough to run while Emanuel was in office, what makes you think that you're going to have the courage to, if you got elected, to make the tough decisions that need to be made to get the city back on track?
And it makes me so mad. Chuy Garcia, he's a Cook County commissioner. He's got the congressional nomination all locked up, so he's going to be the next congressman if he chooses. But now they're dangling this mayoral race in front of him. I mean, pick a job and stick with it.
Well, you have to ask yourself this. You have people contemplating running for public office who are currently running for another public office.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to run for mayor, then basically drop out of the race.
Yep.
If you're running for the House,
the House is the lesser included. The mayor is the big prize. And don't you think, in all fairness, since we didn't get to see the Laquan video before the election, and that Rahm couldn't have beaten Chuy Garcia had this video been made public. Yeah, this is kind of reparations. Shouldn't Chuy Garcia get a shot at being the mayor of the city of Chicago, given all that?
Oh,
No.
look,
The vote, he couldn't
anyone
even beat
can-
Rahm, and anyone who voted for Chewy was an anti-Rahm vote. No one voted for Chewy because they wanted Chewy to be mayor.
If the video had been shown,
Oh, yeah.
and Rahm Emanuel wouldn't have won, and Chewy Garcia would be the mayor of Chicago. So he deserves to get to be mayor.
No,
Don't
he
you
doesn't.
agree?
Who do
Mr.
I agree?
Vallis,
Look,
yes.
first of all, let me say this: if it had been this important, if the priority was to have an alternative to Rahm, any one of these individuals could have entered the race while Rahm was still there. I mean, at the end of the day, again, I mean, if that first election was important, then clearly after the Laquan McDonald video, after the $1,800 average increase in taxes and fees that were levied in the second term, one would have thought that it would have been an easier path for Chewy or anyone else in this current election than it was perhaps on the last election. But for me, I don't care who enters the race at the end of the day. I mean, the question here is who has the skills and who has the track record, the proven track record to, in effect, get the city back on track. And, I've spent, 2 decades managing multi-billion-dollar budgets and dealing with organizations and institutions in severe crisis. In fact, I thought this morning we were going to talk about FEMA and the approach that they should take with the most recent tropical storm that just hit the mainland. So at the end of the day, I mean, I've always been a crisis manager and I've always been a problem solver, really not a politician.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Paul
Mr.
Vallis.
Vallis. We appreciate it.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for
talking.
joining
pleasure.
us,
Thank
and
you.
We'll have you back on the show soon. And Paul Vallis joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Power outages starting and expected to spread as Hurricane Florence nears. Proof Google executives were against Donald Trump in his bid for the presidency in 2016. Those stories next.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Despite being downgraded to a Category 2, Hurricane Florence has caused power outages already for mid-Atlantic states. Tropical storm-level winds are sweeping across the North Carolina coast, and utilities in affected states predicting 1 to 3 million customers will lose power over the next 2 days. Coming as no surprise to the president's supporters, a recently leaked video from Breitbart News shows Google executives in 2016 lamenting the election of Donald Trump, complete with tears and the necessity for group hugs. A Trump administration committee is looking into changing the way energy companies calculate how much money they owe for extracting and selling publicly owned natural gas. Changing calculations could standardize and simplify the process. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. It's also the perfect opportunity to get organized with Store Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. Store Lock makes it easy and simple. It's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized fast. Durable Store Lock Modular Systems are built the old-fashioned way, made to order exactly how you want it. Order your custom system that's powder-coated in-house in any color you want. They're 100% crafted in the USA and feature dividers, liners, and layouts, all made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Store Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Store Lock fits any home or business and will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. Order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call 1-800-STORE-LOCK. That's 1-800-STORLOC. And check out storelock.com for upcoming events.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
My name is Florence Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Brett Baer of Fox News Special Report.
He joins us. We'll talk about the Paul Manafort plea deal
or
made.
no deal.
And Senator Feinstein's letter to the FBI, and also the text message that got Jeff Fager fired, read by the reporter herself. Can you say uncomfortable?
Can you say Fager fired?
Fager
Father
fired.
Flager?
And Moonves also tried to silence one of his accusers. Good times over there at CBS. But now let's jump into the newsroom and get the latest about Hurricane Florence. And other news, here is Mike Scott.
Well, the eye wall has reached the North Carolina coast. Fox with the latest on the hurricane in a moment. A Cicero police officer wounded during a shootout with a suspect. Jury selection complete in the Van Dyke murder trial, and the Cubs edge the Nationals. WIND, Chicago News Time 7.
This is a Fox News alert. Florence's eye is now on North Carolina. I'm Dave Anthony. Made landfall 45 minutes ago in Wrightsville Beach.
The winds have died down. Things are very calm here.
But that won't last for Fox's Jonathan Seri, who will soon get back at the end of the hurricane. There have been 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts and heavy rain. Governor Roy Cooper fears flooding.
Because this water is going to continue to rise. Massive storm surge coming in at high tide, with more rain falling into the rivers.
Nearly 400,000 people have lost power in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Trouble at a hotel.
They had some breach to the roof, maybe about the size of a basketball. The authorities came in. They said nobody can stay here. It's uninhabitable. So they moved them out. About 70 women and children.
That's Gary McGrady with Fox 5 TV. Others who didn't evacuate as ordered got into trouble overnight. Fox's Evan Brown's live in Wilmington.
Yeah, Dave, in New Bern, 200 people have been rescued so far. Another 150 still need rescuing. This is the city spokesperson, Colleen Roberts.
Conditions have deteriorated so badly here, we're having to really strategize and prioritize getting into those neighborhoods to get folks out.
Meanwhile, power outages continue to plague coastal North Carolina. Here in Wilmington, the electricity flickered before vanishing altogether in the past hour as wind from the eye wall has been beating up on the power lines. And now that the sun is coming up, debris and standing water is visible all over roadways, Dave.
I've been in Massachusetts, still trying to pinpoint the exact cause of the gas leaks that caused at least 39 homes to blow up or catch fire in 3 suburban Boston towns. Thousands were forced to evacuate. 1 man was killed. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo easily beat back a primary challenge from actress turned Democratic socialist Cynthia Nixon, but she says it's the beginning of a movement.
The blue wave is real, and it is not only coming for Republicans. It is coming for Democrats who act like them.
Fox News, fair and balanced.
65 degrees, sunny skies at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Peoria Army National Guard team is now part of Illinois' hurricane response to Florence. Governor Rauner ordered the National Guard's Bravo Company out of Peoria, the 238th Aviation Regiment, to leave and head to North Carolina. Candidate for Mayor Paul Vallis, a guest here on AM 560, The Answer with Amy and Bruce this morning, under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while head of CPS between 1995 and 2001. Much of that fire coming from fellow mayoral candidates Lori Lightfoot and Gary McCarthy, who were highly critical of Vallis for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett, who's accused of sexually abusing at least 19 boys while a volunteer at Johnson Elementary on the west side. Jury selection has wrapped up in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with the murder of Laquan McDonald in 2014. The process was completed yesterday after 12 jurors and 5 alternates were chosen. Officer Jason Van Dyke's attorneys must choose today whether they still want that case to be decided by a jury or Cook County Judge Vincent Gaughan. 2 men are in custody following an armed robbery in Glenview and a police chase that ended in Chicago. Authorities say the 3 men entered a T-Mobile store on Waukegan Road, swiping cell phones, and took off down Lakeshore Drive. They ended up at North Avenue Beach. One of the suspects ended up in the lake. A Cicero police officer is recovering after he was wounded during a shootout with a suspect. Authorities say a man began firing at officers yesterday near the Cicero exit on the Stevenson after officers tried to pull over the vehicle he was driving. Officer Luis Duarte was shot multiple times and this morning remains hospitalized in good condition. Bail set at $5 million for the man accused of killing another man last week in Zion. Frank Farella was charged with the murder of Shane Colella. Authorities say the victim was found shot to death in a home in the 1600 block of 19th Street. Farella is being held in the Lake County Jail. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. There's a big hole in the Cub bullpen, though, as Pedro Strop was lost to a hamstring injury. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight, and the Blackhawks head into training camp today with a big question mark, the health of goalie Corey Crawford. The news, a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org. 7:04 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Hey Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago, a lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Chicago has long been a hub of architectural innovation, and the future of Chicago building isn't stopping anytime soon. At Ozinga, we believe it's important to continue pushing the boundaries of the construction industry, but it can't be accomplished alone. Let's build this city with ingenuity, sustainability, and with heart. But more importantly, let's build this city together.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
7:08, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Batavia, northbound Randall is closed, Mill to Fabian Parkway after a crash. 53 northbound at Rand Road, crash in the left lane. Southbound traffic's heavy, Kirchhoff, Higgins. Edens, 35 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 25. Crash at Elston on the right side. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 41. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 38. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 55. Ryan, 28 minutes, 90 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is jammed, Belmont to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Monroe. On Tri-State heavy, 95th to LaGrange Road. Stevenson to 31st, Roosevelt to Lawrence. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today mostly sunny and very warm, high 84. Clear and warm for the night, low 64. Tomorrow, a full day of sunshine, high 82. Then a mainly clear night with patchy late night fog, low 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560 The Answer.
It is 66 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good Friday morning, busy news day here in the country. Hurricane Florence downgraded to a Category 1, but it's still packing a punch. We'll get the latest from Eben Brown at 7:35 this morning. Also, Paul Manafort reportedly agreed tentatively to a deal with Mueller's office. But first, we want to begin with Senator Dianne Feinstein. She tossed out this bizarre smear against Kavanaugh where she sent this letter to the FBI. Let's begin there with our good friend, Brett Baer, who joins us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Brett. How are you?
Good morning.
Good.
Doing
So
well.
what can you tell us? What do you know? Any inside information about this letter that Feinstein sent to the FBI?
Well, a couple of things. One, it came through Congresswoman from California, SU, her office. Feinstein's had the letter, we're told, since July. Okay. So put that in context. Apparently it deals with some kind of allegation from Brett Kavanaugh's time in a high school. And as far as the details, we don't know. It's something to do with being locked in a closet, something we don't know the details.
But it's from high school. I mean,
right.
Do you think they're going to take that into account? I'm sorry. Do you think they're going to?
Sorry to interrupt. The FBI goes back for a Supreme Court nominee all the way to growing up. It is a full scrub. But it is pretty desperate, it seems, by most analysts here in Washington to kind of drop this late. The FBI, as far as we know, just put it in the file and is not moving on anything on that front.
So, Brett, one of the descriptions, and I don't know if it came from the Congresswoman's office or not, said it was sexual misconduct between Kavanaugh and this girl at the time, and he was just a boy at the time. I mean, that doesn't sound like an assault even, necessarily. It was between them. I mean,
or they plain spin the bottle in the closet.
You know, this makes the Clarence Thomas thing sound, you know, like he was absolutely guilty. Can you get more trivial than this?
Again, we don't have all the details, but if we're all going to be judged by our time in high school, some of us may have some troubles.
Yeah. What's the worst thing you did in high school, Brett Baer?
Oh, I don't know. I stayed out late, didn't listen to my parents.
Yep.
But
use the foot wedge. Use the foot wedge when the ball was in the bunker. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So do you think we'll ever find out what's in this letter that she sent to the FBI?
I actually don't. I think it goes by the wayside unless Democrats, for some reason, try to gum up the works, and they could. I mean, they could make a big deal out of it, and the FBI then would have to investigate it, and then it potentially would put back the vote. What does that do? I don't think anything, unless it deals with his early thoughts on abortion and it can move Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. I really don't think it.
Right, Brett Kavanaugh was sitting there in a closet with his girlfriend discussing, Roe versus Wade. Here's the question, and I think this came up because apparently John Kerry told Hugh Hewitt yesterday or the day before, and agreed that Kavanaugh's got 54 votes. Do you count it that way?
Yeah, I do. Once the floodgates open, you'll see it could be 55. When you think about Doug Jones down in Alabama, Donnelly, Heidkamp, once the indication is that the Republicans are holding the line, Schumer will let the dogs out. In other words, the Democrats fighting for their lives in red states.
All right, so tentative agreement reached between Manafort and the special counsel. What do you think the plea deal will include, and do you think there will be anything about Trump in the deal?
So that's the big question. Apparently, Manafort's attorneys said they don't want to do anything regarding Trump, and he doesn't. We don't know. They have not confirmed this report from ABC that they've totally agreed to the deal. It seems clearly it's heading down that road. And the big threat, obviously, for the administration is if it does have anything to do with his interactions as campaign manager or something he knows about some connections. But so far, there's no indications that it does. And as we go further and further down this road, the fact that no major collusion besides the Trump Tower meeting and all of the thoughts about that has leaked suggests that I'm not sure that there's a bombshell in here, but we'll see.
So, Brett, yesterday the president, as is his wont, provided some chum for the news cycle about with his tweet about Puerto Rico and the hurricane and the 3,000 deaths. I mean,
he denied the death toll in Puerto Rico.
That was the whole thing, and that was the gravamen of the offense in the tweet. I mean, I'm so used to this already that it's just, it goes through the news cycle. I voted for Trump. I'll probably vote for him again. I think what he said was reprehensible. I mean, you got people like Nate Silver saying this is the lowest of the low. It's hard to gauge, which are the worst tweets. But okay, fine. Let's move on to the next thing. But you have to, and you roll your eyes up, like every single day, even if you voted for him.
Well, imagine being in the administration. I mean, they are doing some good things, and they feel like they shoot themselves in the foot every time, Twitter rolls around in the morning. That one, actually was pretty egregious. If you die days after a car wreck, you died because of that car wreck.
Yeah.
Right.
If you are one of the thousands who died in the wake of Hurricane Maria because you didn't have electricity for a month, the catalyst that caused that was Hurricane Maria. So you can, argue the nuance here, but arguing seems futile when you're talking about people who died.
And then he went on to blame that this was done by the Democrats in order to make me look as bad as possible. I mean, I think he needs sensitivity training.
There's this, I think I've said this before, there's an app for athletes, and after 9 p.m., if they want to tweet, they have to get a check mark from their agent, their mom, and their friend before the tweet can go out.
I never heard that before. Yes. Maybe.
Well, no. He's the tweeter in chief, and that's his raison d'etre. There was a poll that I saw the other day saying that 50% of men support Trump, but like 62% of women don't. It's like 62-27, and I don't know how true that poll is, but I would think it's a tweet like this that men was okay, fine, he did that. I can't stand it, but we've got Gorsuch, and we're going to have Kavanaugh. Maybe we're going to even have Amy Coney Barrett ultimately. But it seems like women can't stand this, and now we're looking at the midterms where the House could go because of tweets like this.
I agree. If you took only, for example, if he had just tweeted that FEMA spent more time and money than the last 3 disasters combined in Puerto Rico, and we're sorry for the loss.
Yep.
It would have been a totally different deal. And for those suburban districts around big cities, and these are swing states where there's a key Senate or House races, there are not only soccer moms, but working moms and college-educated moms and college-educated single women who are just fed up with the outrage machine, and Democrats could pick up because of that.
Brett, why is it the women-men distinction? I mean, that's what's interesting to me. Maybe Amy you can chime in here, but I mean, why would that be? I mean, I thought men and women are the same. That's what we're being.
Brett Baer,
I don't know. There's this book, Mars and Venus. It's really good.
Well, when are you going to have John Gray on again in the hot seat? Come on.
So, Brett Baer, you've covered. Yeah, you were a reporter, I think, in Tampa, correct?
No, I was down in Atlanta, but I covered 17 hurricanes and tropical storms.
Wow. Are you going to be? Obviously, you're going to be covering Hurricane Florence this evening on your show.
From the dampness of the anchor studio, yes.
Okay.
And Brett, finally, who do you like in the FedEx Cup? I know they're not playing this weekend, but I made my wife watch this. So I'd like to say, well, Brett Baer, because all she really just wants to watch is you. And I want to watch the golf all the time, and I know you want to watch the golf, and you don't even want to watch you. But
I DVR.
But so, who do you like? Who do you like in the FedEx?
You know what
Cup?
I like? You know who I like? I like Justin Thomas because he's won it before, knows what it takes. And I would watch Tiger. I mean, who knows?
Oh,
my one of those 30 could.
Yeah.
Any on one of those 30 could win. And here's a little tidbit.
All right.
I'm taking my family to the Ryder Cup.
Oh, you dog!
Do you want to adopt a
You're going to Paris?
blonde?
You're going to Paris for the.
I'm going to Le National Golf Club, and I'm going to cheer on USA.
Are you going?
In France.
Are you just going?
Long weekend.
Are you just going for golf, or are you also going to go to the Louvre? Are you going to go
Those are
to
personal
No,
questions.
that's the best part. That's the best part. It's just golf.
It's just not golf. Even the Musée d'Orsay. No. I mean, are you kidding? You're not going to take a romantic ride on the Seine, Notre Dame. You're just going to go see golf.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes,
Your priorities are straight.
Got my 2 boys, my wife, USA gear.
Good for you.
Okay, remember 4 is 4, and if you get a birdie on a par 3, that's 2. That's all I can help you with. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Brett Baer, as always, for joining us. And Brett Baer joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, join the Heartland Institute and me on Friday, October 26th for the 34th anniversary benefit dinner at the Cotillion in Palatine. I will be your MC, and the featured speaker will be Judge Andrew Napolitano from the Fox News Channel. Judge Napolitano is nationally known for watching and reporting on the government, and his no-holds-barred, hard-hitting commentary on government overreach and the abuse of our rights. Register today to reserve your VIP tickets or a whole table and meet Judge Napolitano. His important and unforgettable speech will be on the Constitution and human freedom. Also be there to help celebrate the lives of two people who have dedicated their lives to advancing liberty. Heartland Liberty Prize winners Joe Bast, the co-founder and former president of the Heartland Institute, and his wife Diane. Don't be held in contempt. Join the Heartland Institute and me, Judge Napolitano, on Friday, October 26th at the Cotillion in Palatine. For tickets or information, call 312-377-4000 or visit heartland.org. That's 312-377-4000 or heartland.org. I'll see you there.
Don't you love fall and sleeping with open windows, but are you really sleeping as well as you could? The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer is back for September. If you haven't bought your MyPillows yet, here's your chance to get one for yourself, a loved one, or maybe as a gift. I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need regardless of my sleep position. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty, plus 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online or call now for this great buy one, get one deal on premium MyPillows. You can also get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers, pet beds that my dog Bunky recommends. Well, it's not my dog Bunky, but it's Amy's dog Bunky. Unless it's a communal dog. Luxury Giza, is that right? Cotton sheets or
the show ends at 9, Bruce.
And
Speed it
more.
up.
Call 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy or visit mypillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
My name is Florence Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Are you going to allow the government to take your home? Mike S. in Naperville isn't.
At our earliest possible convenience, we're moving out of the state of Illinois.
Neither is Russell O. in Des Plaines.
I'm selling my home and going someplace that I can live without being taxed out of my property.
Illinois has the highest property taxes in the nation. It is a slow-motion government seizure of your home.
My investment in my home was a bad investment.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people, taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbors' stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Picture your son in 10 years. What kind of man do you hope to see? I know you want your son to be a man of character. It's Dan Proft, and I urge you to consider Northridge Prep, the #1 all-boys school in Illinois for 2 years running. Don't miss their fall open house on Sunday, October 21st. Northridge Prep is an independent Catholic school for boys in grades 6 through 12, located in Niles. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. They instill the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm and energy. It's a good place to be a boy. Every teacher is a great role model who gets to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League,
and have top athletics and arts programs. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 21st. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, so we knew that Jeff Fager, he was the executive producer of 60 Minutes, was fired not for the article that Farrow had written in the New York magazine about...
New Yorker,
excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. But he was fired for sending a text message to a reporter inside the building, to someone at CBS. And we found out who that reporter was when she revealed herself and read the text message on air about the one that Jeff Fager sent her.
I am that reporter. Since Jeff Fager publicly referred to our exchange today, I'm going to be transparent about it. First, here's some background. Sunday evening, I reached out to Fager for comment on the articles alleging he groped or touched CBS employees at company parties. In addition to denying these charges, Fager in a text said to me, quote, "If you repeat these false accusations without any of your own reporting to back them up, you will be held responsible for harming me." He went on to say, "Be careful. There are people who lost their jobs trying to harm me, and if you pass on these damaging claims without your own reporting to back them up, that will become a serious problem."
Why do you need independent reporting? Why can't you just repeat what TV stations do that all the time? They report what other stations have reported. You don't have to have independent reporting. I don't understand that. I don't understand what Fager was driving. I mean, I understand that he was threatening
Well, the article came out.
Yes, but why
Farrow's
is
article,
it necessary?
and then she reached out to him to give a comment. You know, is it true? Did you grope people? Women and interns called it the Fager arm. So they'd go to these parties and to bars after, a successful 60-minute show.
Sure.
And they'd feel a hand on the butt talks. And
usually it was Morley
the hand was
Safer's.
attached to what they call the Fager arm. And everyone said, oh, that's just what he does. Well, after the reporter Jerica Duncan read that, it was a very uncomfortable moment. I thought it was uncomfortable. The anchor, Jeff Glor, threw in his support.
Sharika, you and I have talked about how incredibly difficult covering this story has been for you. You've been on this since the beginning. You've done great work. It's difficult enough without dealing with this. That message was unacceptable. I think it's important for you to know, for everyone to know back there, that we, the entire team at Evening News, supports you 100%. So, Jerika, thank you.
Now back to the hurricane, because he was actually live from South Carolina. Coming up next, speaking of the hurricane, Eben Brown will join us live. But first, let's go into the newsroom and catch up. Here is Mike Scott.
Blue skies and sunshine here. It's 66 degrees at 7:29 on AM 560, The Answer. And Hurricane Florence has made landfall. NBC's Craig Melvin is in Wilmington, where the Category 1 storm is dumping record rainfall.
Power outage is a major part of the story here in Wilmington. Tens of thousands are without power throughout North Carolina right now. More than 325,000 are without power. We've actually lost power here at our hotel as well. The winds 70, 75 miles an hour. The rain's unrelenting, expected to continue for several hours. Flash flooding, very much a real concern here in Wilmington, North Carolina.
That is NBC's Craig Melvin as the Hurricane Florence makes landfall at this hour. At least one person is dead after a series of natural gas explosions in northern Massachusetts. Fire crews responding to explosions for fires at 70 buildings in the towns of Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover. This woman, Paige Matthews, says her dog and cat were home when she arrived to find smoke and flames pouring from her basement.
I panicked, of course, and I just ran outside. I left the door open, everything open. I called 911, and they said they'd be there as soon as they can.
Matthews said firefighters did arrive about 10 minutes later, putting out the flames and shutting off the gas. Second quarter losses in same-store sales for Sears Holdings are the lowest in 3 years, but while that may sound like good news, the once dominant retailer continues to bleed cash. Sears' second net loss for the quarter that ended August 4th widened to more than $500 million. Another billionaire businessman from New York may be running for president. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg reportedly telling close friends and the Times of London that he plans to run as a Democrat in 2020. Remember, Bloomberg had toyed with the idea running for president as an independent in 2008, 2012, and 2016. Candidate for mayor here in Chicago, Paul Vallis, a guest of our show this morning here on AM 560, is under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while he was head of CPS between 1995 and 2001. Fellow candidates Lori Lightfoot and Gary McCarthy criticized Vallis for not opening up an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. Jury selection wrapping up in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with murdering Laquan McDonald in 2014. The process completed yesterday. Officer Van Dyke's attorneys must now choose whether they want that case to be decided by the jury or Cook County Judge Vincent Gaughan, and Van Dyke's attorneys also still want that case moved out of Cook County. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says he'll do better in his second term. The governor telling reporters he'll be a better governor because of the struggles of his first term. Rauner said he made mistakes by demanding an all-or-nothing agenda and hopes to be able to find compromise when he's elected again. Well, there may be big changes coming to the former Motorola complex. A huge apartment block could be on its way in north suburban Schaumburg. Village trustees could okay a 260-unit development at the Viridian building at their September 25th meeting. The Urban Street Group is working with another Chicago developer on that project and expect that building to be completed in the spring of 2020. Javi Baez went with a bunt single in the 10th inning and scored the go-ahead run. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight. Blackhawks begin training camp today. And the news, a service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Parents and students visit pcadevzone.org. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
7:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Eden's inbound delays start at Niles Center. It's 35 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 25 from Montrose, 26 in the Express. Outbound 54 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 42, 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 52. Ryan, 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford, 35. Lakeshore Drive, heavy southbound Belmont to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Monroe. Northbound Veterans Oriole Tollway, stop and go 75th most of the way to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 delays, Kirchhoff, Higgins. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and warm. High 84. Clear and 64 tonight. 66 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Let's get straight to it. Hurricane Florence is upon the East Coast in South Carolina, North Carolina, the eye of the storm. And although it's downgraded to a Hurricane 1, it is still packing a punch. Let's get the latest from Eben Brown, who joins us. Good morning, Mr. Brown. How are you?
Good morning.
All right, so where are you located and what's going on?
Well, I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm a few miles away from the shore and up on some higher ground. We're about 30 feet above sea level here. But it has been a horrific night for this area, enduring not just the wind, but also the storm surge. Much of the coastal areas, those barrier islands, those beach towns, have been decimated by the storm surge, which has been at times 10 or more feet up above the ground level there. So we are told that the city of New Bern is practically underwater to some degree. There have been 200 people who did not evacuate that needed to be rescued. Another 150 people are waiting to be rescued. Police and first responders are trying their best. In Jacksonville, North Carolina, a hotel partially collapsed, leaving a bunch of people stranded and needing rescue. There have been reports from volunteer water rescue people that they have been boating past floating deceased. It is obviously a horrific thing to encounter, and this is all due to storm surge and wind and rain. Where I'm standing out now, like I said, we're not getting any storm surge, but we are getting a pummeling wind and a significant amount of rainfall that eventually will cause a lot of flooding. It's beginning to pool in certain areas, and eventually it will cause flooding. The storm is so slow-moving in terms of its forward motion that it has every opportunity to dump as much water as it can on us.
Did you say, I want to make sure I heard you correctly, you said that they were floating bodies?
That is the report from one of the volunteer rescue groups known as the Cajun Navy. They're from Louisiana. They travel around to hurricanes to help with water rescues. They radioed back saying they saw bodies floating in the flooded water, the flooded ways that they were piloting through. It's not something that we've confirmed, but the Cajun Navy's been around for a while. We trust them. So it's obviously a very horrific thing.
Eben, interesting thing. We're concerned about your safety. My former NBC5 colleague, Ginger Z, who's now at ABC, Good Morning America, is being attacked on Twitter this morning because apparently she put herself in harm's way or close to it. And she says, I know I'm a mother. I love my family. I also love my job. I always put safety first. I'm in a safe spot. No one could have anticipated boards popping up on a deck. Now, are you in harm's way at all? And why do people, news people always stand like right next to a pole that they could be blown into? I'm worried about you guys.
Well, I'm safe. I'm outdoors at my hotel. I'm undercover. I'm outside enough to experience what it's like, but not really feel the effects. I have been the reporter out in the more dangerous areas where you're getting blown around, where you are at some severe risk. Yeah, you do it because you have to tell a story, especially for television. But normally they're not just waiting out there. They're running out in front of the camera to do their report, and they're running back. It is a bit of a gamble when you do that. It sometimes makes for comical television, unfortunately. Just remember that the reporters themselves are not trying to be stupid. They're trying to bring you a story,
right.
and they're trying to do their best at that. Certainly, none of them are going out there willy-nilly and not realizing the risk that they take. In previous storms that I have been in, I've been standing around in the flooded parking lot only to have to jump and hit the deck and go under the water to avoid a flying branch. I fried my cell phone, but probably saved myself injury.
Right.
I know what that's like. I don't need to go do it now. Now I'm older with a wife and a kid, so I don't really go out there. But still, it's I can speak from firsthand experience exactly how dangerous it is.
And it just always surprises me. They give them ample warning. Everyone should leave, and still some people stay. And that puts the first responders at risk trying to rescue them.
Well, yes, and in many cases, the first responders won't go at that time because it is too dangerous for them to do it. First responders have in their blood the need to go out and rescue people, so if they think they can make it, they will try it. And in this case, they're doing that in New Bern, where 350 people are in need of rescue. 200 have been pulled out already, but 150 people are still stranded. And that's in an area where two rivers have been surging to the point that they have nearly converged, and they've just flooded out the entire town.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Stay safe, Evan Brown, and we appreciate your reporting this morning.
You're welcome.
That's Evan Brown, who joined us from Wilmington, North Carolina, and on our turnkey.pro answer line.
I think a hurricane is coming!
Oh, Lisa, there's no record of a hurricane ever hitting Springfield.
Yes, but the records only go back to 1978 when the Hall of Records was mysteriously blown away.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies we have.
Sure. Right, Al.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Well, I have groupies.
A rich fantasy life is important.
This is Al and Marty. Deal with us.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
It's the Huskies against the Central Michigan Chippewas. This Saturday afternoon at 2:30 in IU football is on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Retire with Confidence.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on working with couples in their late 50s to early 60s, preparing them to retire with confidence. So what exactly should they be doing differently at this stage of their lives?
Mike, if you're a couple in your late 50s to early 60s, you really have two big jobs to do right now. The first one is to make sure you don't have a big loss. This close to your retirement, if you think about it, Mike, at this stage of their life, most couples have more money than they've ever had before. And it kind of makes sense, right? And the last thing that they want at this stage of their life, this close to retirement, is to have a big loss, a 2008 type loss, for instance.
That could be devastating, Bill.
Absolutely, for obvious reasons, but also at this stage of your life, your second big job is you want to begin developing a source of dependable, sustainable income that you know how you're going to pay your bills for the rest of your life. And if you have that big loss, you may not have the monies available to set up that source of dependable, sustainable income. So the two big jobs that you have, to summarize, is one, protect what you have. Don't have a big loss. Number two, begin developing a dependable, sustainable income stream that you can count on for the rest of your life. So you know how you're going to pay your bills, you can keep from running out of money, and you can leave a legacy. That's retiring with confidence. Mike, I know you're going to talk about this in just a moment, but for the next 5 couples who call in today who have at least $500,000 in their retirement portfolio, we're going to do on a complimentary basis a full-blown retirement plan for them.
we're going to work with them on how to set up a plan so they know how to protect what they have, so they know how to create a dependable, sustainable income stream, and so they know, maybe for the first time ever, have that confidence to know that they have a game plan to move themselves into retirement.
Bill, this is a fantastic opportunity because, folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Homebuilders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Home Builders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Producing quality agitprop is a team effort, so it's nice to see the Democrat-Socialists rally for the Obamas to help them consummate their $50 million Netflix production deal. The lineup really assembles itself. Cory Booker will star in a remake of Spartacus, only this time Spartacus is the wealthy senator, and he only thinks he's a slave. He runs around Capitol Hill yelling, "I am Spartacus," with no one else echoing the sentiment. Kamala Harris will play the lead in the spinoff How to Get Away with Murdering the Legal Canons. The Ripped from the Headline season premiere will feature a bizarre temper tantrum masquerading as an interrogation of a SCOTUS nominee. Rahm Emanuel is scheduled to reprise the role of Abby Lee Miller from the Lifetime hit Dance Moms. The Emanuel version will be entitled Tiny Dancer Moms. Chris and Andrew Cuomo will play conjoined twins in the long-awaited sequel to Stuck on You. Other shows under consideration: Brian Williams as a bomb tech in a remake of The Hurt Locker, Rachel Maddow as Katie Lang in the biopic Crying, and Elizabeth Warren as Henry Fonda playing Tom Joad in a stirring interpretation of John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. It's a lineup that's binge and purge worthy.
AM 560, The Answer.
So I don't know about you, Bruce, but remember when Elizabeth Smart, she was then 14 years old, she was kidnapped from her bedroom in an upscale part of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yes.
And it was a couple that was married and had children that kidnapped her, and they held her captive for 9 months. Well, we learned a few days ago that one of her kidnappers, her name is Wanda. What's her last name? Wanda Barzee. She's going to be let out of jail soon. Further review and advice from legal counsel that showed that they must credit Barzee's time in federal prison toward her current term in state custody, on top of the time that she already served in jail and at a state hospital. Obviously, Elizabeth Smart, her entire family was flabbergasted by this. They said it was incomprehensible. And yesterday, Elizabeth Smart spoke out, hoping that the parole board would change their minds.
I do believe she's a threat. She is a woman who had 6 children and yet could co-conspire to kidnap a 14-year-old girl and not only sit next to her while being raped, but encourage her husband to continue to rape me.
And that went on for 9 months until finally she was able to escape. She got a lighter sentence because she worked with the prosecution to get her husband convicted. So she agreed to testify against her husband, Mitchell. Her sister, Barzee's sister, came forward yesterday, Bruce, and said, my sister is mentally ill. She is a menace to society. She should not be released. So people are coming forward in droves to say that the parole board made the wrong decision. And
maybe she should be sent to a mental hospital.
Well, yeah, exactly. But she should not be free to walk around considering what she did. And I also want you to consider this fact. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Blagojevich, sentenced to 14 years in prison. How is that even? You have a woman who kidnapped a 14-year-old girl while she was sleeping in her bedroom and let her husband rape her and held her from her family for 9 months, brainwashed her, did horrible things to her. She gets less prison time than Rod Blagojevich. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey Debt Pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Right after the midterms, I believe Trump will commute the sentence of Rod Blagojevich.
Really?
That's my prediction. I just thought of it.
Well, okay, that's good. Somebody had suggested to the family that they should go on Fox News. They should go on, associate themselves, align themselves with media outlets that President Trump pays attention to so that he could hear their message. Patty Blagojevich was on with Martha.
She was on with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, and with Tucker Carlson.
Right, because that's what Trump watches.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's a smart play by the family to try to get his attention to say, you know what? Time served. He's been behind bars for 7-8 years now, and he's paid his dues. He's learned his lesson.
Well, I don't think he's learned his lesson.
Well, why not? You don't think there's
no,
any
but that
contrition?
doesn't mean we shouldn't let him out.
Right? Don't you think he should be?
No, I think he should
released?
be let out. I mean, and somebody before he's let out, somebody should give him some hair coloring so that he. Well, vanity to thy name is Rod. He doesn't want to have a gray coif. Rod and I used to share the same hair, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you still have the...
Yeah.
Oh, you have the Joni Ernst hairdo. Sorry. Well, you do. You just
Is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. It looks great on you.
Yes, but Rod
you're transitioning, too. Everybody's transitioning.
Everybody. Scooter Libby got his sentence commuted. That was an injustice. You know what the common element is between Scooter Libby and Rod Blagojevich, of course.
Patrick Fitzgerald.
Is right.
Yeah. I think I'm onto something. But again, and at 8:35, we are going to have Angela Rose on. I don't know if you remember her. She's not a victim. She's a survivor. She worked at Woodfield Mall 17 years ago and was kidnapped, thrown into this slime ball, just disgusting person's car. He did horrible things to her. She survived it because she was aware of her surroundings, and she's going to join us and also, talk about this new group that she started to help other victims of sexual abuse.
TV morning shows on a Friday when the show's about to end, they have like a dance party.
Yeah.
you bring on, which I mean her case.
Well, Dan talks about judicial review, so I think anything's more, but it's better than
it's Judicial Review Friday usually with Dan. Let's go over Marbury versus Madison.
It's so exciting.
Let's go over Paulsgraf versus Long Island Railroad. I agree with Justice Andrews' dissent on foreseeability. Okay, your calls right now.
No, it's a great story that
That's
she has.
60 seconds of insanity.
Angela Rose, she's an inspiration. Stay tuned at 8:35 because you're going to want to hear that.
I mean, I've got this thing, and it's golden.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They raised my taxes in the middle of the recession, and my house was not worth the value that they claimed it was.
That's how it works in Illinois. Even when your home value decreases, your property taxes continue to increase.
We pay the bill, but I have no money to pay for having a meal.
The government is stealing your home. Listen to Mike S. in Naperville.
We're overtaxed, and my home value is not appreciated because of how much we're paying in property taxes.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbors' stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
It's probably been about 10 years
years ago, I had quite a few credit cards. The interest on the cards was really high. I was making the minimum payments, but barely. And it was just getting to be too much, so I called Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
They met with me, and they were able to get all of my credit cards in one lower payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
They did help me learn how to manage my money. Now, we have a house, and we're doing a lot better.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Holly, and I am debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
AM 560, The Answer.
Freedom Summit tickets are selling quickly. Don't miss out on your chance to join us on Saturday, October 27th at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. This year it's presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicago's retirement experts. This year's keynote speakers include former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Our own Mike Gallagher will also be there, along with Noah Rothman from Commentary Magazine and Kurt Schlichter from townhall.com. And we'll be there, too. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. This event always sells out, so get your tickets today. And thanks to the sponsors.
Can you list the sponsors using your chit-chat voice?
Would you want the Cliff voice, or do you want the chit-chat?
Let's do Cliff.
Okay.
Who are the sponsors, Cliff?
Precision Payroll of America, Automated System Incorporated, Joe Cotton Ford and Carol Stream, Charles Energy Equipment Systems, Tom Mirabali, independent agent for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, Chicagoland Waterproofing, Beth Dental Group of Bartlett, and HealthInsuranceMentors.com.
Thank you. Did you ever watch Dr. Oz?
He's a quack, right?
Well, he's a doctor. Yeah, he's got a TV show,
He's a
Dr.
quack.
Oz.
He's a quack.
Spinoff of Oprah show,
Yeah,
whatever.
right. He's a quack.
Well, he had Roseanne Barr on. And Roseanne on Ambien. What happens, Roseanne?
Well, I've done some weird things on Ambien, and I think a lot of people have too. I've heard from thousands of people about it. One guy got up and cooked a turkey and ate it. So that was like 4 hours if you think about it, and didn't remember it in the morning. And all the time that happens to me when I go up in the kitchen and there's a whole box of Triscuits laid out and eggs cracked on the wall, cheese everywhere. I Ambien eat, like Tiger Woods Ambien drove. It's a weird drug.
Yeah, so I actually looked up Ambien, and tweeting is not a side effect.
No.
So she said she was on Ambien when she tweeted out that racist comment.
They're killing her
about
off.
former Obama. I know they're killing her off.
Is she going to overdose on
show.
Ambien on the show?
I think she should join the Trump campaign. That's how they should say goodbye to her, because then there's a possibility that she could come back. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the 12th juror in the Jason Van Dyke case has been picked. Now a judge decides if the trial should be moved out of the county. But first, let's check in with news from here at home and, of course, the latest on Hurricane Florence. Here is Mike Scott.
Fox will have the very latest as the eye wall crosses the North and South Carolina headlands. Paul Vallis blasted over the handling of a sex abuse case while head of the Chicago Public Schools. Emmanuel and Madigan submit a consent decree to a judge. Cubs edge the Nationals in 10 innings, and the Blackhawks begin training camp today. Sunshine and a warm Friday, high of 84. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A very slow-moving Hurricane Florence raining down on the Carolina coast. I'm Dave Anthony. It made landfall nearly 2 hours ago after lashing the coast overnight. The eye came right over Fox's Jeff Flock in Carolina Beach.
We are now dead calm. We've even got birds flying around out here now. Right in the midst of this, here we are in almost sunshine.
He has seen minor damage after 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The heavy rain and storm surge also caused trouble in New Bern. 200 people needed to be rescued, 150 others told to be patient. Spokeswoman Colleen Roberts.
We're asking people, do you have the ability at this point to go to a second floor in your home, perhaps into an attic?
President Trump tweeted, incredible job being done by FEMA, first responders, and law enforcement. Fox's Evan Brown's live in Wilmington.
Yeah, Dave, daybreak is only revealing how disastrous Florence has been. Even a few miles inland, the flooding and the rain is making quite a mess. Here's North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
Even when the sun comes out, these rivers are going to continue to rise, and we're going to have significant flooding, so we have to be ready for that.
Florence has also knocked out power for 455,000 customers. The storm's slow forward motion means this area will need to endure this for another day, Dave.
Evan, there is breaking news out of Washington. This involves former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and Fox's Rachel Sutherland has the details live.
Dave, Fox News has learned that Manafort will plead guilty in federal court as part of a plea agreement with special counsel Robert Mueller. This deal will apparently allow the 69-year-old to avoid a second criminal trial that was set to begin next week in Washington on charges related to his work as a lobbyist. Last month, a Virginia jury convicted Manafort of bank and tax fraud charges. Dave?
Right, Rachel, this stems from the special counsel's Russia investigation, but does not have anything to do with Russia or the campaign. This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 66 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An elementary school in Elgin this morning remained shut down because of mold in that school. District officials shut down Coleman Elementary after crews working to remove mold from several classrooms found more in common areas. Candidate for mayor Chicago in Paul Vallis is under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while he was the head of the Chicago Public Schools between 1995 and 2001. Several fellow candidates criticized Vallis yesterday for not opening an investigation into the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. Jury selection has wrapped up in the trial of the Chicago police officer charged with the murder of Laquan McDonald in 2014. 12 jurors have been selected, 5 alternates chosen. Officer Jason Van Dyke's attorneys must now choose today whether they want that case to be decided by that jury or by Cook County Judge Vincent Gaughan. Mayor Emanuel and Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan moving forward with a proposed consent decree aimed at reforming the Chicago Police Department.
The consent decree is a detailed and comprehensive roadmap to reform that Chicagoans need and can be proud of.
Lisa Madigan announcing yesterday that the final draft of that document has been submitted to a federal judge. The University of Illinois will end up paying for most of the cost to host former President Obama last week. School yesterday saying the total price tag is about $53,000, while the Obama team will cover about $12,000 of that. Most of the money will come from inside the university. No money will come from tuition or state tax dollars. Cubs edge the Nationals in 10, 4-3. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight. At 8:04 on AM 560, it's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL. And time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, global stocks rose this morning. Investors are more optimistic about a new round of trade talks expected between the U.S. and China later this month. Tennis star Naomi Osaka is close to signing a new deal that could be worth $10 million a year. The New York Post says Osaka's agreement with Adidas could make her the brand's highest paid female athlete. She's currently paid about $100,000 a year by Adidas. This week, she also signed a deal with Nissan. Wall Street analysts at Wedbush say it appears Nike's controversial Just Do It ad with Colin Kaepernick will make money for the company. Nike stock swooned in advance of the ad's debut, but yesterday closed in record territory. Nike reports its earnings on September 25th. The Dow was up 147 yesterday. NASDAQ gained 59, S&P up 15. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Charles Equipment Energy Systems and by The Income Store.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Hey, Chicago! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better? It applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Chicago. A lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
It's 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Eastbound I-80 traffic is jammed. The Manuka interchange to past I-55 with a crash in the left lane. Tri-State Tollway delays are northbound from 95th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to Florence. Eastbound Reagan Tollway slow. Aurora Toll to 59. Northbound Veterans Memorial. Mountain Toll to Roosevelt. Southbound 53 from Northwest Highway to Higgins. Aiden's 26 minutes. Lake Oak to Montrose. Outbound 25. Cat an hour and 6 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Quicker than the express. Outbound 54 minutes. Eisenhower an hour and 5 minutes. 390 to downtown. 48 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 52 to 390. Stevenson an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 36 minutes. 95th to downtown. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny, high 84. Clear night, low 64. Full day of sunshine. Tomorrow, high 82. Then a mainly clear night with patchy late night fog, low 66. Sunday will be mostly sunny, warm and humid with a high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Naughty. Come on. Ding, 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 ding. Good morning, Amy Jacobson here. Bruce Wolf.
Hello.
Sitting in for Dan Proft today and on Monday. Dan's going fishing with the fellas, I think. On a little fishing trip, yeah.
Up north? It's a little too late to go up north, isn't it?
No, he's in I don't know where he is. But he's fly fishing. So hopefully he'll come back with a big catch.
That could wreck your golf game, because you're casting all the time. And then if you cast in your golf game, although many golfers like to fish.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been fishing? I can't see. You know what? No offense to you.
You can't see me fishing.
I can't see it. No, I can't see you putting the worm on the hook. That would make you a little squeamish. And you're like, oh my God, he's moving around. Oh my gosh.
I went deep sea fishing when we were down in Florida when I was about 13 years old. And I got so nauseated from the rocking of the boat that they had to have me just lie down somewhere.
and stare at the horizon.
No,
yes,
I shut my eyes, and I had the most beautiful dream about a bear pack game at Wrigley Field in the snow. I still remember that dream. Didn't catch any fish, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my one fishing story.
All right, well, today
Caught
is
a dream
the day.
this big.
Today's the day at about 9 o'clock this morning. Jason Van Dyke's defense attorney, Hubert, is going to have to decide whether or not they want a bench trial or if they want a jury. Now, jury selection has been going on for the past few days. The 11th juror was sworn in. They did choose a 12th juror, but they're going to have to decide before that 12th juror is sworn in whether or not to have a bench trial or to have a jury trial.
Right.
Here are the jurors. They had 200 people come in. 55 were ultimately questioned. The 12 jurors include 7 whites, 3 Hispanics, 1 African American, and 1 Asian American.
That is not representative of the city of Chicago.
Chairman Dodge, please. Will you tell him that it's Mr. Joshua Benjamin from the NAACP on the line? I would like to know how many members. Does the chairman have any Asians or any Native Americans on the committee?
That's a Martin
no
Luther
Asians
King
and no natives.
impersonation.
Well, you've been of a great deal of help. Just forget I even called. Just tell him I said hi.
Is that Eddie Murphy doing Martin Luther King?
Distinguished gentleman. Yes,
Yeah.
I do believe in him. Anyway, so you're an attorney, and out there, what do you think out there? You peoples out there, 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636, type in DA, and then a quick comment.
I'm not dispensing any legal advice. I just want to say that. Because as an attorney, I want to give myself an out. No, but I don't do criminal law. But my curbstone feeling is that you got 7 whites on the jury. That's pretty good.
Do you think
I
that
think
that's
your
really
odds are
gonna
pretty
matter?
good. That and here's the thing:
the white people that I am friends with,
yeah, but
they
they're all
think he's
Episcopalians
guilty.
who
They
are
think he's guilty.
transgendering. Yeah,
they carry
think he's
around
guilty.
signs that say "Convict Jason Van Dyke."
No, yeah, but the thing is convict him of what? Because
Well, here's
correct
the
me
deal.
if I'm wrong. There's a murder charge. There's also these lesser included aggravated battery. You're giving the jury an out right here. They can convict him of something.
Well, he faces 6 counts of first-degree murder. Like he woke up that day and said, "I'm going to go kill
That
somebody."
is not
Well,
necessary to have a murder charge. You don't have to
16
wake up. You can just have shot him premeditated by a split second. That's all.
16 counts of aggravated battery and 1 count of official misconduct for the October 2014 shooting, in which he pumped 16 shots into Laquan McDonald, who was carrying a knife, who did not listen to repeated
But he was on
calls
the ground.
to put your weapon down, sir. And yesterday outside the courtroom, the president of the FOP came to his defense, to Van Dyke's defense, because every day there's dozens of protesters, out there with signs protesting, saying, "Lock him up, throw him in jail." But yesterday, the tune changed.
I think that people who have been here in the city of Chicago have seen that video over and over again. That is a one-dimensional video that does not tell the whole story.
And he said that he prays and says a rosary every day for Laquan McDonald's family. It's, by all accounts,
by
he's a
the pronoun
great family
antecedent is
Van Dyke.
Is Van Dyke. Here's the thing: the guy's on the ground, and 15 more bullets are pumped into him. Was that necessary? Was that reasonable?
Yes, because he was on, according to the defense
He's
attorney, he was
on the
on
ground.
PCP,
He already has a bullet in him.
and his muscles are still. He's still
He's
flailing
twitching.
around. Yeah, he's
flailing.
twitchy, and then when they're twitchy,
Van Dyke doesn't have to stand right next to him at that point. I mean, this is what what they'll be arguing about, I imagine.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. We will know by day's end whether or not this is going to be a jury trial, bench trial, and then when that decision's made, then the judge will decide whether or not it's going to be taken out of Cook County. I don't feel like it's going to be. I think it's going
Why
to
is
stay
that?
here. Just this feeling.
You just got a gut feeling based on your years
Well-
of doing what? Reading My Pillow commercials? I mean, who the hell are you? Who do you think you are?
My pillow makes me smarter. Let's
Yes. Well, it's cool on both sides.
Let's go. So don't start with me, please.
Okay.
Let's go to Tom, who joins us from Deer Park. Good morning, Tom.
Oh, good morning. I'm curious. When Michael Cohen made the payment to Stormy Daniels before the presidential election, it's been deemed that that was done to influence the election and thereby possibly a campaign finance violation. Why do we not hear any discussion that Mayor Emanuel sitting on the tape and using $5 million, not from a donor, not from his campaign, but of taxpayer money to silence the witnesses there?
We do
Well, he
hear
wasn't
that.
silent. That's
Tom,
no,
have
that's
you
a very
not-
good
Do you
question.
not follow me on Twitter where I relentlessly, to the point of ad nauseum, I will say that Rahm Emanuel is a latter-day Jim Crow mayor who effectively disenfranchised the black voters of the city of Chicago by imposing what I would call an illiteracy test, keeping them in the dark about this video. And he's paying the ultimate price because now he is a nothing. He's going to have to spend the rest of his life with Amy Rule. Think about that.
Hey, they've been married 27 years.
But now he's got to actually be with her.
Thanks, Tom, for the phone call. Let's go to John, who joins us from Bridgeport. Good morning, John. How are you?
Hello?
Hello. You're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is John. Are you guys there?
Yes, we are.
We're here, John. How are
Hi,
you?
John.
Okay. Couple things here. There's not one politician here in Cook County that says, I hope Jason Van Dyke has a fair trial. Not one of them has said that. That's ridiculous. Number two, we have to know the rules that we're going by here. And as far as I could tell, if we're going to apply the legal standard, Jason Van Dyke, even though optically it looked bad, that he was legitimate in his shooting, even if it looks excessive, he's able to do that by the laws of the state of Illinois and by the police department.
I agree with you 100%.
You're effectively begging the question. You have decided. You've included the conclusion in your question right here. That's the issue before the jury or the judge. It'll be, was he reasonable? You've decided that he was. How can you decide that it's reasonable? How do you know that? A guy's on the ground and you've already got a bullet in him. Why do you have to throw 15 more into him?
Well, I'll tell you why. Did he have, at that point, was he a felon? Did he have a weapon on him?
He did.
Yes.
Yep. And he was approaching the officers and
anytime,
near a neighborhood.
And anytime, John, you face a felon who has a weapon on him, who's writhing on the ground with a bullet already in him, you're entitled to empty the gun.
What does it matter if it's 2 shots or 16 shots, honestly?
Because he might have lived. Yes.
With that being said, if you ask Jason Van Dyke, and I wasn't there, of course, and probably you weren't either, if you ask him how many times you think you shot your gun, he would probably say 5 or 6 until he was no longer a threat. And with that semi-automatic that he has, you don't know with the adrenaline pumping how many bullets you shot until it's no longer a risk in your mind, no longer a threat.
That's an interesting point that you make, John. I mean, it is interesting, but I would think that officers, and I know that they are told to empty the gun, but I would think there are circumstances in which they wouldn't do that, and aren't they trained? Aren't they trained?
No way. You shoot until the threat is no longer there.
Yes, and the threat was no longer there after the one bullet. That would be the argument.
No. And in his perspective, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
In his eyes, he was still a threat. Now, you don't go changing the rules here midway through when it's on the books right there that the officer has every reason to fire until he perceives it no longer to be a threat.
What you have framed the issue. Now, you've answered it already, so I'm going to ask that you I'm going to use one of my peremptory challenges and get you off the jury. But you have framed the issue, and that's what the jury will be deciding.
Verlon from the South Side. I accidentally hung up on him.
Right.
Sorry about that. So let's go to...
Who's this guy?
This crazy cat, Sean from Elmwood Park.
Good morning, Sean from Elmwood Park.
Hi,
Welcome to
Sean.
the show.
I don't like this. I don't like it. It's like when your wife and girlfriend are at the same luncheon. I don't like it.
Can I, for the record, say something, Amy?
Yeah.
So Sean was hosting for
Joe Walsh.
For the guy on the Eagles. Yeah. So he's hosting, and
you were jealous.
He has me call in order to hang up on me.
Oh, I don't like the way this is being said. This is what a lawyer does. I had you call.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. No, Sean. Hello. Are you there?
Sean?
Worst phone call ever. You're worse at caller than you are host. So you wait for me to show up at the desk, then we talk. You're terrible, off topic and everything. Now, here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
This is why you don't want to get shot in Bridgeport by that last guy. Are you out of your mind? Release the tapes in the car. Is anybody curious about the conversation that happened in the car?
Yeah, because there was no audio, so you can't hear them yelling at him, put it down. There's other tapes are going to be released at the trial.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the walkie-talkie on the way to the crime. There was an altercation an hour before.
We know what happened before.
Oh, yeah.
We know the chase and how they were following him and all that
Dyke's
stuff.
a coward. And the Barney Fife defense of, my gun had 16 bullets is moronic. Listen, I grew up in Melrose Park. Those cops didn't pull a gun. They beat the hell out of you. That's what they did. He's a coward, and they should cook him. He shot the kid 16 times. Not another cop had a gun out.
See, I
Not
assume
another cop had a gun out.
See, I
Is that a problem?
May I talk?
Well, the reason why he stopped shooting is because his clip was empty, and his partner said that's enough,
See,
or something to that effect. Like, you're done.
I assumed that because we
Bernie
had seven,
Fife defense.
I
yeah.
assumed that because there were 7 whites on the jury, that this would be good for Van Dyke. Now, having listened to Sean, I'm not so sure.
I told you. All right, thanks,
And
Sean.
this is why his retainer is a bologna sandwich. This is why Bruce Wolf is not a practicing defense attorney. I am right, and I judge it by the judgment of the other police. The other police on the scene did not have a gun out. This guy had a problem with him an hour before, and he was going to right a wrong. And that's why he should be cooked. Cook him.
All right. Bye, Sean. Thank you for
Sean.
calling. Verlon, thank you for calling back. Hi, Verlon.
How you doing? I'm going to paint you a story. 6 cops on the scene, all guns in holster. Van Dyke pulls up. Within a second, 1 shot's fired, 2 shots fired. He spins around like a top. He's on the ground. His body is riddled with bullets. There's literally smoke coming from every pore of his body. 16 shots. Stick a fork in him. He's done. The cop's done. He's going to at least be convicted of manslaughter. There was no reason for 16 shots after he was on the ground.
Verlon, would you
around
agree?
like a top.
Verlon, would you agree that McDonald was akin to Sonny Corleone on the Causeway? I mean, really riddled with bullets.
All right,
like
thanks,
that.
Verlon.
Thank you, Verlon,
for painting that picture. Let us go to Steve, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Steve. How are you? Okay, Steve's not there. Let's go to Brian, who joins us from Chicago. Now, Brian has joined us before. He is a Chicago police officer who was shot in the line of duty and luckily survived. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Bruce.
Hi.
I'm sorry we're at the point where we're making light of this situation because Jason's life has been destroyed because of the situation. Obviously, Raquan's life is over, but we need to look at the facts. He was escalating Raquan that night, chose to get high on PCP. He chose to go break into vehicles. He chose to jump over the squad car and stab the tire of the car to make good his escape. He's a fleeing felon. You want to debate law, you want to debate police training, you want to debate those things after the fact, we can do that.
Well, Brian,
But
let me ask you.
that
You're an
night,
expert
when
because
he-
you're a
that
cop
night
and
when
you
Jason
got shot.
took his
May I?
actions,
Can I?
He was acting within the color of the law and acting within his
Well,
police
you're
training.
begging the question, Brian, because you're already saying you're jumping to the conclusion, and you're saying he was acting with under the color of law. Here's the thing. He's on the ground. I mean, let me ask you, what are you trained? How are you trained? You're a cop, and you got shot.
The training
is on the
Well,
ground.
let him answer the question.
I just wanted to
Continue
finish
to
the
fire.
question.
Let him.
Go ahead.
Can I answer the question?
Sure.
The training is, and I said, if you want to debate training, let's go back and do that. But you cannot. The training says continue to fire until the threat is eliminated.
Okay.
The knife is still in his hand. If the knife is still in his hand, that is a threat.
Let me ask
In
you
the
this,
last 3
Brian.
days, in the last 3 days in the city of Chicago, we've had 4 people stabbed.
Yes, and they were
So
not
that knife is a
stabbed by.
threat.
Were they any of those stabbed by somebody who was lying on the ground with a bullet already in them? No, none of them were. Right. I mean, that's the question. The guy was on the ground with a bullet already in
his
him.
body was
that's
still
why
moving.
His body was twitching on the ground, and that's the question, Brian. That's the question
Okay,
before the jury.
This incident took 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, it took him 15 seconds to unload that weapon. So in that 15 seconds, his training and the law allowed him to do that. You want to debate that? We can debate that.
I am
His life
debating
should
it
not be
right now, and
destroyed.
you're
He
just
should
jumping
not
to
be
the
taken from his
conclusion
family and
that
put
he's
in jail because he did what he was trained to do, and the
Well,
law allowed him.
you must be dumbfounded as to why this is even going to a judge or a jury. Why this case wasn't thrown out?
It is. You know why it is?
Why?
You know why it is? Because it was political, and they buried it. Had they done the right thing and did their due diligence and said, you know what, this is bad optics, it looks bad, and we're going to review training, and we're going to review how we proceed in the future, but in the color of the law, and he acted the way we trained him to do, and we're going to proceed.
Right.
But instead, they buried the tape, and by burying the tape for political reasons, not police cover-up, for political reasons, because Anita Alvarez needed to be reelected and Rahm Emanuel needed to be reelected.
Exactly.
They buried the tape, and they made it look bad.
That's
had they
true.
did their due diligence and had a state, had a review right there and said, this is what the law says, this is what his training did, and we're going to review it from this point out, but don't make him the scapegoat for political reasons.
Well, if you're correct, then his conviction will be reversed on appeal because you're saying it shouldn't even go to a jury. Okay. Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
And people should know, too, they settled with this. They didn't settle because Laquan McDonald's family didn't even bring a lawsuit against the city. The city,
Right. Well, they did
Rom
settle.
just gave. No, they didn't file a lawsuit. Rom
you
just
can settle
gave
before
them
a lawsuit is
$5
filed.
million.
That's what they did. They settled.
Well, the thing is that they gave it to Laquan McDonald's mom,
Right.
and not the foster mom who raised him. His mom, she's supposed to testify at the trial. They can't find her.
Well, what? There's no relevance to her anyway.
Well, no, they
She's
wanted
not-
her to testify
as
in
to
the trial.
what?
A character witness
There-
about her son.
What does character have to do with what happened right there? Character's
That's gotta
objection, irrelevant.
You
throw
have to
her
make
out.
the jury fall in love with
no,
Laquan
there's
McDonald.
not going to be any. No. She will not testify. Not in my courtroom.
Well, she's not testifying because they can't find her.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call
Well-
away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. It's also the perfect opportunity to get organized with Store Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. Store Lock makes it easy and simple. It's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized fast. Durable Store Lock Modular Systems are built the old-fashioned way, made to order, exactly how you want it. Order your custom system that's powder-coated in-house in any color you want. They're 100% crafted in the USA and feature dividers, liners, and layouts, all made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated
I love
steel rollers.
ball bearings.
Oh, you can say that again. Store Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Store Lock fits any home or business and will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. Order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call 1-800-STORE-LOCK. That's 1-800-STORLOC. And check out StoreLock.com for upcoming events.
Pat Boone again, and I've never before endorsed a pain relief product of any kind until Relief Factor. My wife is thrilled because of her neck and shoulder pain, and let's face it, almost everybody over 50 has occasional aches and pains due to aging or exercise, and the 3-week quick start is now discounted to only $19.95. It's 100% drug-free, and the majority of people who order it go on to order more. Let's see if we can get you out of pain too. Go to ReliefFactor.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of You Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of You Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you know that your sump pump is the heart of your basement waterproofing system? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. Do you know how many sump pumps fail? That's right, all of them. It isn't a matter of if, but rather when your pump will fail. Unfortunately, you may not realize there's a problem until your basement is flooded and you've incurred thousands of dollars in damages. At Permaseal, we make it easy to have your sump system evaluated and a reliable pump and battery backup system installed. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL to schedule your free inspection. We've received many calls from happy customers whose basement and belongings were protected during this this past rainy season. But don't take our word for it. Check out our reviews with the Better Business Bureau. You'll see that many of your friends and neighbors are part of the Permaseal family. Get the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement and a healthy home. You know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Best for being better, Permaseal.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, we cannot go another minute without thanking Debbie Litwin, our office manager, HR director, just MVP of the company. She brought us McDonald's this morning.
It's delicious.
It was so good.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yes, thank you so much, Debbie. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we just spoke about Elizabeth Smart, her accuser being out, but coming up, you'll hear from a Chicago... Stop the eating.
Can you have a sound effect for the slurping of a straw? Because I love the fact that we can still get straws, good old American straws, in the Chicagoland area. Because it's that it's from China, where all the straw pollution is originating. Yeah, so we can use our straws.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, you'll hear from a Chicago area woman who was kidnapped, sexually assaulted while her attacker was out on parole, and what she's doing now to help others. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 69 degrees. All eyes on Florence crashing up along the North Carolina shoreline this morning. Came on shore in Wrightsville Beach as a Category 1 storm. Sustained winds of 90 miles an hour, hitting Fox's Eben Brown.
Daybreak is only revealing how disastrous Florence has been. Even a few miles inland, the flooding and the rain is making quite a mess. Here's North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
Even when the sun comes out, these rivers are going to continue to rise, and we're going to have significant flooding. So we have to be ready for that.
Florence has also knocked out power for about 455,000 power customers. The storm's slow forward motion means this area will need to endure this for another day. In Wilmington, North Carolina, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort will reportedly plead guilty as part of a special counsel deal with Robert Mueller. Manafort's plea deal relates to charges tied to his work for pro-Russia political forces in the Ukraine and does not have anything to do with the Mueller-Russia investigation here. At least one person is dead after a series of natural gas explosions in northern Massachusetts that are now drawing federal investigators. Fire crews responded to fires at 70 buildings in the towns of Florence, North Andover, and Andover. Governor Charlie Baker vowed there will be a full investigation and that those involved will be held accountable. Candidate for mayor of Chicago, Paul Vallis, is under fire for his handling of a sex abuse case while head of the Chicago Public Schools between 1995 and 2001. It involves the abuse of students by Marvin Lovett. Lovett has been accused of sexually abusing 19 boys while a volunteer at Johnson Elementary on the west side. And a former lawyer will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars for the 1973 murder of his wife in the northwest suburbs. Cook County judge sentencing Donnie Rudd yesterday to at least 75 years in prison for the killing of Noreen Rudd. Rudd was accused of beating Noreen Rudd to death before staging her death to look like a car accident in Barrington Township to collect life insurance money. Javi Baez dropped a go-ahead bunt single in the 10th. Cubs edged the Nationals 4-3 in a makeup game in D.C. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Orioles tonight in Baltimore, and it's back on the ice for the Blackhawks, who begin training camp today. 8:34, and the news is a service of Unbound. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue the dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. See how far your support can go at unbound.org. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager always wants the truth.
Other than improving, how has the United States changed since Donald Trump became president? Tell me a way in which it has become worse. They make up lies. There's more racism, there's more anti-Semitism. It's all lies. You know that in your own life. They make up things. They just make up things. They have to, because leftism is total myth.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation, and it's free. Make plans now to attend the 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. Ask about the kids auction, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd at the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. Get more information at ilnaclub.org.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
It is 8:37, and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
In Batavia, Randall Road is closed in both directions, between Mill and Fabian Parkway after a major wreck which happened this morning. Buffalo Grove Aptekissick is closed. Brandy White, Buffalo Grove Road, down power lines. Edens runs 20 minutes late, Cook to Montrose, outbound 28. On Kennedy, delay started Foster. It's an hour and 2 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to the Circle. 46 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to the Drive. The Ride, 40 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tri-State Tollway southbound, it's heavy. The Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound from the Stevenson to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. But Adams Tollway tight. Explains the way to Tri-State. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny and warm today, high 84. Clear and warm overnight. Little sticky, low 64 and a high of 82 tomorrow. Currently 69 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Unbelievable. That's how Elizabeth Smart described it when she heard the news that one of her kidnappers will be released September 19th. That's next week. And Wanda Barzee is her name. She was married to her husband, obviously, and they had 6 kids. And what she did to Elizabeth Smart is incomprehensible.
I do believe she is a threat. She is a woman who had 6 children and yet could co-conspire to kidnap a 14-year-old girl and not only sit next to her while being raped, but encourage her husband to continue to rape me.
It's just unbelievable. And Wanda Barzee's sister has begged, the parolee board not to let her out. She said she's a menace to society and that she's mentally deranged and she might do this again. Elizabeth Smart, too, is asking them to revoke the pending parole. And when this story, Bruce, reminded me of young woman from Chicago area, and she was kidnapped while she was walking out of Woodfield Mall. She worked at Woodfield Mall, kidnapped, taken into her car, sexually assaulted, and then dumped in a stairwell. And her attacker was out on parole, too, when her kidnapping happened. So let's welcome to the program Angela Rose. Good morning, Angela. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me.
And I met you years ago after the attack, after some time had passed, and interviewed you. And I was just fascinated by your strength, because when he abducted you, he put you in his car. I remember he used plastic ties to hold your arms back, but you were so keen to no, it was a Trans Am. It's brown. You looked at the antenna. The antenna was broken. Just things that you remembered during the ordeal, which helped police, lead them to him.
That's right, Amy. I was able to really consciously catalog those details, which is very rare. Most survivors of trauma have a lot of difficulties remembering these details, but he bound my hands behind my back, and I could see out of just the corners of my eyes because he had taped my eyes shut. And I made a very conscious decision. I'm very close to my family, and I had an image of my mom getting a phone call that I had been murdered, and that image just really helped to give me the strength that I needed to remember all those details. And what was so interesting about this case, and this Elizabeth Smart case is hitting so close to home, is that the man who kidnapped me was on parole for only 6 months when he abducted me. And when I came forward, there was 4 other young women that also came forward that he had potentially done this to on just that 6-month period, and he was on parole for murder. So, you hear about these repeat types of offenders, but one thing that's so important for everyone to understand is that more often than not, it's somebody that we know and we trust that's committing these crimes. It's, it's a dater, an acquaintance, a coach, a family member. So while my case and Miss Smart's case were both a stranger assault, overwhelmingly it's somebody that we know and we trust.
Angela, I just read the account before you joined us on the air. Your account, the 48 Hours show account, and it's gripping, it's sickening at the same time, and it's so heartening to hear you now, because I know nobody ever gets over something like this, but yet, you sound so good right now. And when I, had just read these details, which you just chronicled a little bit for us right now, but just being in that car and having the presence of mind to try to notice details so that you might be able to ultimately apprehend him was just, I would think that I would just be in a panic and not be able to do anything, not have any presence of mind. It was just unbelievable.
And it was weird because he brought dresses for you to try on. I remember.
And they fit.
I know. That was so weird. Had he been stalking you before, or do you know anything?
Yes, we found out, Amy, that he was stalking me, and he had the same dress in all these different dress sizes when they ended up catching him. But I'll tell you both, one thing that was so frustrating for me was the night that I went down to the police station, the responding detective accused me of lying. There was nothing done on my case that night. And we see how difficult it is for people to come forward. And thankfully, I had an incredible support network. That's why I'm able to live a happy, joyful life. My parents were amazing. My grandmother called me just, right after it happened to me and said, this is your mission, is to fight. And so I really thought of myself as a survivor, now thriver, instead of a victim very early on because of the incredible support from my community as well. So that's one thing I really want people to understand is the first person that a survivor tells, if they react well, that's greatly going to impact that survivor's healing process. But more often than not, victims all the time and survivors are blamed for what happened to them. What were they wearing? How much did they have to drink? And all of these questions can be very re-traumatizing for survivors.
Well,
so on our website,
go on. What about your website?
I was just going to say at shatteringthesilence.org, there's a lot of tips on what to do if somebody discloses.
So so eventually he dropped you off in a parking lot in a stairwell, and thank God he didn't kill you. But what police department that denied, that thought you were making this up?
It was a Schaumburg Police Department, and it was very frustrating, but thankfully they put 2 new detectives on the case after my family fought for a couple of days. And these 2, I called them my knights in shining armor, were also from the Schaumburg Police Department, but they were amazing. And they said to me, Angela, we have no reason not to believe you. So that's when I did this sketch of his face. It was called an EFIT, which is the electronic version of the sketch, and they put it all over the Chicago news, and someone recognized him.
Yeah, wasn't it a Wheeling
officer.
Police Department? His
That's
parole
right.
officer, and said, oh my God, that's him.
That's right. Yep. And so, I really became so passionate about this, but why I started PAVE was that everybody had a story. Male friends, female friends, people that I hardly knew were coming to me and thanking me for sharing my story, because back in 1996, no one was talking about this. Now with the hashtag #MeToo and Time's Up movements, it's been really inspirational to see how many more people feel more comfortable coming forward, but we still have a long way to go. There's still so many survivors suffering in silence.
I mean,
I'm just so surprised that he was out on parole for murdering a 15-year-old, correct?
Correct. And I became
how
friends
does that
with
happen?
his family. Back in the day, it was in Illinois. It was basically a day for a day. So he was sentenced to 30 years and was out in less than 15, quote unquote, for good behavior. And what's so fascinating about this story is that he actually met a woman in prison through a prison pen pal program. She was Japanese and she was in her early 20s. He was in his late 50s, and they got married. And so right when this happened and he was arrested for my case, she fled the country and went back to Japan. But it's just so fascinating to learn about this man's life. So many people came to court to support me. It took 4 years for it to come to trial, and it was difficult to go through the system, but so many people showed up and supported me, and it just meant the world to me.
And he's life behind bars, right?
Thankfully, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're reading this account, and you're saying there were some tears that had fallen down my cheeks. So he had taken this silk handkerchief, and he said, your mascara is running. And he wiped the tears from my face, and it just gave me the chills. It made me sick to my stomach. It's making me sick to my stomach right now reading it. But I'm so heartened that you're able to, I mean, it's a redemptive story.
And one of the other reasons why we're having you on is you have a benefit for PAVE coming up on Saturday, September 29th. What is it, and how can we get tickets?
Oh, absolutely. We have an amazing benefit concert. It's the second time we're working with Haley Reinhart, who is a platinum recording artist, also was on American Idol. She is so incredibly talented, and she is lending her time and talent for this amazing fundraiser coming up at the Patio Theater. And tickets are at helpthemovement.org. And it's going to be an amazing show. I think one thing about PAVE is that we take a positive and a proactive approach. We work on prevention, education, and training. We help parents understand how to talk to their children about consent and healthy relationships. We have an amazing, groundbreaking high school program, and all of the donations from this concert are going to benefit our educational work and our work to empower survivors to make sure that no one ever feels alone. So again, that's at helpthemovement.org. It's an all-ages show. Doors are at 7. The show's at 8 p.m., and it's hosted by Roman, who is
we know
the Chicago Bulls. You know him? That's great.
Yes.
And he's also a DJ on US 99. He's amazing. He's a good friend for a long time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Angela, for joining us. And I love to hear the strength in your voice. And you're not a victim. You're a survivor. And
absolutely. And to any survivor listening, living a happy, joyful life is absolutely possible. I married my best friend. We have a daughter. It's just an amazing thing to really recognize that every day is a gift. So anyway, I really appreciate you two having me on this morning.
All right. Thank you. Again, the event is September 29th at the Patio Theater in Chicago's Portage Park neighborhood. To get tickets, go to helpthemovement.org. Thanks so much, Angela.
Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
It's Glocktember at Schrank Smoke & Gun. All store-owned Glocks and accessories are on sale at the lowest prices allowed. Schrank's is a Glock Blue label and perfection dealer with an on-site certified Glock armorer and has dozens of Glock models in stock. And with the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, you'll avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax with just a short drive north. For gunsmithing, you know you can count on family-owned Schranks for over half a century. Cigar lovers, be sure to stock up from Schrank's Humidors. And don't miss Schrank's special Glocktober sale. Be sure to check Shrink's website, Facebook, and Instagram for flash sales. Visit smoketheletterN.gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Shrink Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. That's 847-662-4034 or online at smoketheletterN.gun.org.
Getting your whole family together to do something fun together can be tough. And getting them away from technology, the iPhones, the iPads, the Xbox, it's almost impossible. Here's what you need to do. Get your whole family together this fall and head out to Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. Real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun. It's a guaranteed great time. If you've ever been, it's probably become a family tradition each year. If not, what are you waiting for? Get to Gobert's Pumpkin Patch and start a new family tradition. There's a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and much more. It's an endless amount of fun for your family. You can pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. There really is something fun for all ages. Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pine Grove, Illinois. For directions and more info, go to Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. That's Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com and harvest some family memories.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Cutting taxes, appointing conservative justices, and strengthening our military. Donald Trump is working to make America great again, but he can't do it alone. President Trump needs allies in the Senate. Joe Donnelly voted against our tax cuts, and he votes against Trump's policies almost 60% of the time. President Trump needs Mike Braun.
This election is about safety, and this election is about jobs. Democrats want to open borders. Democrats want to raise your taxes. We need Republicans in Congress. We want people like Mike Braun. He's a special man, and he is going to be a truly great senator.
Vote for Mike Braun for U.S. Senate. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey, fall is here, and so are those weekend cleanup projects. Hey, Sean Hannity here to tell you that getting organized is simple and easy with Store Lock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. They're durable, store-lock modular systems. They're built the old-fashioned way, made to order, exactly how you want it, and they're 100% crafted in the USA. And these storage systems have dividers, liners, layouts. All are made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Store Lock is so strong that each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Your custom system is powder-coated in-house in any color that you want, plus it's fully assembled when it ships, so you can get organized really fast. Store Lock fits any home or business, will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. All you have to do is order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call now at 1-800-STOR-LOC. That's Store Lock, 1-800-STORE-LOCK. And check out storelock.com for upcoming events.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle, and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myrooфisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
School kids are wailing. Parents are praying. Schools are falling apart. You can bet. No sweat. So give it an old college try, Paul Vallis, and you'll win in a mile, Paul Vallis. And kick the 9.5-digit midget back to Wilmette.
Woo! You know, it's not Christmas, but Christmas comes early here on AM 560, The Answer.
I got to say, the singing was commensurate with the writing of that song.
That was really good, I have to tell you. Because I did, encourage you to practice at home before you arrived at
Which I
work
did
today.
not.
Oh, you didn't? So that was fake news? You lied to me?
I sight read it.
It was great improvisation.
Yeah.
Bruce Wolf's here today. You're going to be here on Monday.
Yes.
And you're going to help me out? You're going to blog some stuff for me? Some kickers?
Oh, sure. We could. Right. What do you want to
Well,
talk about?
you know, we
We'll
have
talk
some
about
time.
the Bears game on Monday. They're playing Monday night.
They are playing Monday night
Yeah.
against Seattle. But do you want to, because we always end on Fridays, we call them Big Fun Fridays,
Sure.
Judicial Review.
There's nothing more fun than judicial review. What case do you want me to review? Do you want Marbury versus Madison? Do you want Roe versus Wade? Do you want Brown versus the Board of Education? You name the case, I will review it.
Ooh, Karouche.
Not familiar with that case? Could you give me a citation on it? And a spelling as well of Karouche.
Why do I have to put on a swimsuit? Nobody else has a swimsuit on.
I'm going to ask that gentleman be removed from the courtroom right
You're
now.
a child.
Well, I know that. Yes.
It's as if Dad never left. I always told Dad,
Yeah.
I go, how can I miss you when you won't go away? The guy never goes on vacation.
He's ubiquitous.
Well,
He's
I have to
omnipresent.
go on vacation because I have children. And we have to do things together, spend time together, which I
Well,
don't
we're
mind.
in Mexico.
My kids and I sometimes go to Mexico, Dan. Yeah, we do.
It's very, it's a nice, but yeah, my daughter is honeymooning in
Oh, that's right.
Mexico
She got
now.
married last week.
Daughter
Tell us
got
about
married. It was wonderful. My fifth child got married. It was a beautiful, I cried, I laughed, and she went back down the aisle, the recessional, I guess, to the Simpsons music. So
To the
it was
theme song of The
yes,
Simpsons?
which I thought was appropriate because there's nothing more family oriented than The Simpsons. It was hysterical. I mean,
Really?
there was humor. There was there was.
Was it a big
sentiment.
wedding?
It was not very big, but
Okay.
it was
Did
was
you have a
sentimental.
chuppah?
It was chuppah-like.
Well, what
was
is
what it was.
chuppah?
A chuppah.
I know what a chuppah. I've been to chuppah weddings.
Not a chuppah, but a chuppah is it's like an arch that's over you, and, and it protects you. It protects it protects
Is that the
family.
symbolism with the chuppah?
I'm sorry?
That it protects you?
Well, I mean, there's in Hebrew we have what's called the shalom bayit, the house of peace, which I think is what that means. Not sure, but that's part of the tradition, of course. There was some of the tradition, and there's new things. We have new traditions. It's an ever evolving religion.
So did you cry when you gave her away? Obviously?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
It was sweet.
And it was her first wedding, her first
See,
marriage.
I mean, that to me is the most inappropriate question that I have ever heard. Nobody else has asked me, "Is this her first marriage?"
Sorry.
I mean,
I should be more refined. I mean, I am from Mount Prospect.
You're like the drunken cousin at the wedding right now.
Trying to play the shofar over in the back when you're not supposed to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for making us part of your work week. Our thanks to the best zoo crew in the morning, Justin Kosick, Quinn McCarthy, and Keith Conrad. We are back here bright and early.
Can't wait.
Monday morning at 5 a.m. Now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Vallis blasted over the handling of a sex abuse case. We'll have reaction.